This podcast of the Primal Scream is brought to you by It Works independent distributor Kathy Sculla.
It works.
It works. Go to kathysculla.myitworks.com. Check out all the wonderful products. You can check out their... they have a new thing. It's Yule Titan Greetings. They have exfoliating peel.
Yule Titan? Is that seriously?
Yeah, Yule.
That's so fucking funny.
Y-U-L-E. Like a Yule Titan.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but they have a lot of different type of things. They have skincare product line right there. You'll see that facial stuff. You also have vitamins and greens and things. I love the greens. I think they work out great, and my kids love the chews. So I feel like even though my diet is shit, and my kids obviously they eat what I make them, or we go out to eat. The one thing I feel great about is that they actually get those things in the morning, which are the green chews or the mixes.
They get some kind of nutritional benefit before they leave your home.
Yes, some.
What a good parent you are.
Yeah.
Great job, buddy.
Thank you very much. So check out It Works at kathysculla.myitworks.com. Put in an order, or check out the business side of things at It Works and make a little money on the side. Another company we like very much is Ecolips. Go to ecolips.com. You can order Ecolips from that website, or you can create your own lip balm, which I think is really cool. You go to My Ecolips, little tab there on the left-hand side. Pick your ingredients, design your container, name your balm.
Did Steve ever tell us how many you had to order to kind of make it cost beneficial? Do you have to have like 100 units, or did he ever say any? He talked about how much it cost him for each one, but I mean, does that mean he would make you one lip balm? I mean, you think for cost effectiveness, it would be a certain amount?
Well, no, they break it down on their website.
Oh, they do?
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Yep, they break it down to like how much it would be per stick if you ordered a batch of X amount, or this is how much it would be per stick if you ordered a bigger amount. So they break it all down on ecolips.com, www.myecolips.com. The Mongo Kiss, I love it a whole lot, and the One World. I think that's one of the greatest things that Steve has created is the One World lip balm.
Yeah.
All organic, all biodegradable.
And I had the mango mint the other day. Mongo mint, and I had it at home, and my kids started using it. My wife started using it. It's just so good. And I think it was a couple of days that I didn't drink a lot of water like I usually do. Got a little chapped.
Yeah.
And the temperature dropped here like a motherfucker. So it was nice just to have.
We're basically tomorrow night is a 0 for a low.
Yeah. Yep.
That's always nice.
Today is 27 though, so it's balmy.
It's balmy here in Iowa. So check out Ecolips at www.ecolips.com. Another wonderful place that you can go is Sweet Raw Joy. Go to sweetrawjoy.com for desserts to live for. And by the way, Todd, we have some desserts to live for right in front of us.
Got some food.
Would you like some?
Do I want some?
Don't. I have a fork for you. You can use a fork. That way you don't put your grubby little mitts all over everything. What are you looking for? You looking for a good place to eat it? It's really good stuff. Anyway, Sweet Raw Joy. There's a picture of the Fuge. That's what Todd's eating right there.
That was close.
That was kind of close.
Kind of chewing the.
Mrs. M.
Mrs. M is so scrumptious.
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't realize I was calling her Mrs. M because it fit the movie.
Well, I thought you were doing it because it tastes so good, and we were doing a funny thing off of What About Bob?
But I also thought
that her last name is Moritz.
Yeah, so I thought that was. I only did it because of that.
You know what? We timed that wrong. I should have taken a bite of this while you had nothing in your mouth, but you started drinking beer and.
Because one does want to chase a natural, organic, wonderful product with alcohol. But see, I had friends who make fun of me because I love chocolate and beer. It's like a big piece of chocolate cake and a nice cold beer. To me, that's better than milk. The reason we like milk, though, is it's bland to the sweetness. Beer's the same way.
Roger that. Roger Wilco, Daddy
Boom.
Warbucks. So if you want something that's good for your tummy, all organic, no sugars added, you're trying to watch your weight, but you want to satisfy that sweet tooth, go to sweetrawjoy.com, or if you live in the Cedar Rapids area, go to any of their locations where you can buy some of these wonderful products at. Mainly the Hy-Vees, but you can go to the new Pioneer Co-op, Mr. Beans in Marion, the Bread Garden Market in Iowa City. Wonderful product, and it tastes just fucking delicious. SweetRawJoy.com. And of course, as always, Cards Against Humanity. Go to cardsagainsthumanity.com. You can download it for free, Todd. Free, I tell you.
Well, the best part is that they do it for free, but it makes you want to give them your money. I mean, not everybody wants to be a freeloader. So if you go in there, give them some dough. They put together a nice box for you. It looks nice and clean and professional. The cards are going to be better than anything you could print off yourself. Because I guess you can print them off, and then you can laminate them and do all that other bullshit. But why do that? Give them $25. It's nothing, and your family will have the craziest, most wonderful Christmas holiday gathering ever.
Now, I'm
God.
going to be going to a Christmas celebration here at the end of November. Nice. We're having like a neighborhood Christmas party at one of my neighbor's house.
I'm
pretty sure if you haven't already gotten an invite, you should have gotten an invite, Todd.
Didn't get one, so I guess we're fucking SOL.
See you the fuck later. It's for adults only, and guess what they purchased? Cards Against Humanity.
Did they get the bigger, blacker box? Because we always like it when it's bigger and blacker.
21 inches. It never hurts unless it does. Yeah. But get your expansion packs. Get all that stuff. It's wonderful. It is absolutely one of the most enjoyable games you can play when you're drunk, or even when you're not drunk.
It is one of the most enjoyable games I've ever played as an adult, hands down. Hands down. I mean, you and your wife and me and my wife used to play catchphrase.
Yeah,
and that was fun because we'd be a little tipsy and we'd play some cards and we'd do something fun afterwards. This, we played for at least 2 hours when we went camping.
Listen, it's a shocker. Every time you play, it's a shocker. You never know what's going to happen. Every hand that's dealt, every time somebody else
and you can't wait for the next one.
You have no idea what the combinations are going to be that are going to come out there, and it's great. And I really probably shouldn't have used the hand gesture of shocker, but it is. It's a shocker. It makes you go, oh, what the fuck? And then you laugh hysterically.
Why was that a shocker?
I'm not gonna describe it. Anyway,
I just don't.
That's it for our potential sponsors and our sponsor. Now, let's get on with the podcast.
Oh, sweet.
Wake up. It's time for Primal Scream.
Welcome back to Primal Scream, everybody. I'm Matt.
I am Todd.
And today we're gonna take it old school. We're gonna take it back to how it used to be, where it's just and Todd kicking things around, expressing our views on different topics, things that are going on in the world, things that we need to really, honestly, we probably should be paying attention to. You know,
for sure.
Todd, what do you got for us? What are we gonna start?
Hey, I was gonna tell you. You were talking about Sweet Raw Joy at the new Pioneer Co-op. I haven't heard yet when it's supposed to open. Have you heard when it's supposed to?
It's still under construction. That's all I know.
I know, but it should be fucking opening soon.
You would hope.
Because, I mean, it's so close to where I live that I would just love to shop there. Because, I mean, I make special trips down to Iowa City to go to New Pioneer Co-op, and I'd rather just drive down the street.
It's really, the organic, fresh produce is really taking off. I think they tried New Pioneer Co-op
years ago
in Cedar Rapids years ago.
I want to say 15 years ago.
But there's a real movement now to that type of living. So
they were just a little ahead of their time. Iowa City is a pretty liberal area, so I'm not surprised they did well. But I mean, here definitely. I mean, I told my wife, I said the best part is going to be the bakery. Holy shit, the bakery in Iowa City at the New Pioneer Co-op is incredible, and they can make. I mean, so if you want to have a healthier product made for you. You know, you can get organic made cakes, you can get gluten-free stuff, you can get vegan cakes, you can get all kinds of stuff. I'm assuming they're really trying to make this be another anchor store for them. It's not, because I think the first one was kind of like an offshoot. Oh, hey, let's just have a little Pioneer Co-op up in Cedar Rapids that we can kind of, this is going to be a legit store, big store. It'll be as big as the one in Iowa City. Because the one in Iowa City is, it's. I would say it's exact same size, if not a little bigger here, square foot wise.
Think so?
I do. Yeah, because the one there has fresh meats, and see that'd be how awesome would it be? I love going to Big Boy Meats in the New Bow Market, but again,
that's only open a few days out of the week,
right? Yeah, and this will be I can go get fresh produce, I can go get fresh meat, I can go get all this stuff right here, and I think that it's going to be huge. I think it'll be enormous.
I think it's going to be interesting to see just how these different stores are going to contend with one another, because you're going to have you have New Bow Market, then you have the Fresh Market that just opened up,
right? And the Fresh Market, is kind of a generic place. So I mean, for lack of a better term,
it's somewhat I would say it's kind of a generic health food store, but it's
fancy.
But compared to all the mass chains of grocery stores, that it's amazing.
And I would differ with you a little bit. I would go to Hy-Vee over Fresh Market. That's just me. Yeah, I like Hy-Vee a lot. I think they do a pretty good job of bringing in local produce. I think Fresh Market uses the idea of being kind of like a Trader Joe's, Whole Foods kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
And dumbs it down a little bit, which is okay. And they are bringing healthier things to the table for sure. But it is kind of like it is a chain restaurant, chain store, and I like the idea of Hy-Vee being a store from the Midwest that's kind of always been here, and I think that's why I like the new Pioneer Co-op. It's here. I mean, it's only Iowa City and Cedar Rapids, and I love the idea of it being. I don't know. I don't want to compare our podcast to the New Pioneer Co-op, but the New Pioneer Co-op has been a small shop in the middle of Iowa City for a while, down in the middle of like a residential area for years and years and years, and then they opened their bigger store in Coralville. I think they still have Coralville. Do they still have the store in Iowa City downtown in there? I thought they closed that.
Sure. I'm not sure.
But it was within walking distance to like the Ped Mall, kind of. But
I thought there was a big one in the Ped Mall area.
No, that was a whole nother store that's already closed. But that was a nice shop too.
It opened and it closed.
Again, it was a nice place to go to. Oh, maybe it's still open.
I don't know.
I think it's
we
more
don't know the name of it, so it's hard.
More booze there, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Iowa City.
But I like it that it's small and it's slowly growing. I like supporting. That's why I like going to Menards. There's a Home Depot here. There's a Lowe's here, and I enjoy going there too. But I like the idea that Menards is a Midwest company.
You know what? I don't like it for those reasons. I like having a variety. They have things at Lowe's that they don't have at Home Depot. They have things at Menards that they don't have at either one of the other ones.
Right.
I like being able to go around. If I go to Target or Walmart or whatever, I kind of feel like there's not a huge variety.
Well, but that's kind of odd because that's the idea of a big store like a super Target or a super Walmart.
I should say that I don't
everything.
I feel like there's not a big difference between the two, except for possibly who's shopping in each. You go to Walmart.
Well, that's a for sure.
You go to Walmart and you see the people of Walmart. There's a reason why. There's YouTube after YouTube. There's photos after photos on the internet of people of Walmart, and that's why it's called that, because I don't see that at Target. I don't see it at different stores.
Right.
Walmart's notorious for the women with the knee-high furry boots and the G-strings walking around. Have you seen that?
God, yeah. It's just so gross. Again, it taps into a whole different part of society that I don't think it gets out much. Yeah, or is it social media that allows us to see these things, to have people of Walmart web pages, with pictures? I mean, or were they always there? Were there always 86-year-old men dressed as scandalous dressed women with wigs on and wearing their construction boots? I mean, were they always around doing that? Part of me, sometimes I look at those pictures and I'm like, they did that on purpose. They got out of the house dressed like that on purpose.
I would like to think so, but I'm kind of skeptical.
Socially completely unaware people, is what you're saying? They just completely are mindless.
I think more than anything, the idea of pride, having a little pride.
Or they're in their bubble. Hey, man, I got my Snuggie on. What else do I need? You know what I mean? I'll just throw my slippers on. I'll run to Walmart. Could that be
something
it?
Something that used to drive me crazy about my first wife is she would take forever to get primped up and to look amazing before she would go to the grocery store. And that used to drive me crazy, right?
Right.
But I can appreciate that to a certain extent now when I see people who go to any store and they just, you can tell, I don't give a fuck. I don't care how I look. I'm comfortable. Screw it. Screw all you people. And in a way, it makes me feel like, don't you have any pride at all? Don't you care at all? Don't you have any self-esteem?
But I mean,
at
does
all?
pride mean that I have to make sure I look a certain way so everybody else is okay with me? That doesn't sound like pride. I mean, if I feel good in a pair of Daisy Dukes and a lacy tank top and a pair of flip-flops when I go to Walmart and I feel awesome, fuck, I'm going.
Now,
fuck everybody else.
Is this going to turn into like a labels type of because I almost said, when you said Daisy Dukes, if I feel good about wearing Daisy Dukes and going to the Walmart or whatever, I almost said, if you want to look like a whore, and then I thought, oh, wait, is that a bad thing to say? Or honestly, when you say
that still goes to societal impressions.
It sounds bad, but when you purposely put on clothes to look sexy, to look like at any moment I'm going to have sex or I'm going to make myself look so appealing.
But I can't look in the mirror and go, oh, I look good. I feel good in this outfit. It's not about, oh, what if I can go get a man at Walmart? It's more of like, you know what? This makes me feel awesome. I think I look fucking hot. I love this outfit. I feel so good in this outfit. It has nothing to do with.
But if that image is generally attached to
right, but that's a societal thing.
Right, it is a societal thing, and we live in a society called the United States of America. It's a society, and if that image is associated with a prostitute, then why do people act surprised when you look at somebody who's dressed like a prostitute and you go, why are you dressed like a whore?
Well, I think
why are they surprised? Why do they go, oh,
they shouldn't be surprised, but
how dare you say I look like I'm scantily dressed? You're fucking scantily dressed. I can see the bottom of your ass cheeks. I mean, you got a great body.
Can you look at him and say, can you look at him and not judge him?
No. And I'm not saying that just to be argumentative. I think that we honestly judge people constantly. Every time I see somebody, I judge them.
And that's kind of the bane of our existence, though.
True. I work with a lot of guys. I work with a handful of ladies. If a woman walks by me and my coworkers, and this has been the way, I'm almost 40 years old, and this is what I've seen notoriously my entire life. Men, if a woman walks by a guy or a group of guys, it's a struggle. It's a physical struggle for me not to turn and rate and judge that female that just walked by me, because I might have just got
primal.
It's a primal. It might be a primal thing, but I'm sure it's a societal type norm that I just got a glimpse. I know there's a woman walking by. I can smell the perfume, and as a collective whole, we all turn and look. It might be the most unattractive woman there is that I've seen all day, or it might be a total knockout that I literally have to drag my eyes away because that form of that woman is so appealing, is so beautiful. And you don't even have to look at it as like a raunchy, nasty way. I'm not like drooling, leering, but I can look at somebody and go, oh my God, you are not the norm. You are part of the minority, which is healthy, physically shaped. When you were created, you have just the right genes that you are pegging out my meter on super attractive. To me, you are super attractive. I got to drag my eyes away before I get nailed with sexual harassment. So I think it's impossible. I don't think you can ever look at somebody and not judge them. Now, can you judge somebody and then have the mindfulness to say, okay, I'm sure you're more than just your appearance?
Sure.
Yeah. Whereas I think a lot of people can just say, no, I'm sure you're a whore.
Right. Or you start a website called People at Walmart.
Yeah. Or you have a guy that walks in and he's super in shape and you're like, meathead. I'm sure he has nothing else to give to society. Right. Oh, wait, he's got some thoughts. He's pretty knowledgeable about different things. Holy shit, you really surprised me. It goes both ways. I shouldn't just, I don't want people to think, oh, typical man.
Right.
It's women are just whores.
Right. And I think that's the important part is us turning that thing off once in a while. Because, I mean, I think it happens to me all the time.
But you think we can turn it off. I don't think we can turn it off at all.
No, I don't. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say turn it off. I can say keep my mouth shut. You know, I mean, if I have that internal monologue,
the urge.
I can have the urge. I can hear somebody say, "Oh, hey, I want you to meet this guy. He is a WWE wrestler," right? And inside, I might go, "Oh, what the fuck." Is he going to be some 300-pound pretty boy, all greased up? I mean, oh my God. In my head,
full of himself.
Can I have those thoughts in my head? Absolutely. But I don't have to say them out loud because that way you're kind of holding your judgment externally for what you get the chance to see.
Right.
And I think turning that off so that you don't have the reaction externally is the part that matters. I mean, I think you see that more in social media now. People fucking react, send a tweet out.
And you can't take it back.
Dumbass.
You can't take it back.
That was just on the newsroom. That was one of the last episodes. The newsroom, most recent one, was a girl sent out a tweet. They had been up all night after the Boston bombing, and the one guy who usually does the tweets was they're all been up for 8 to 16 or 16, 20 hours. Mm-hmm. And on her way home, she sent a tweet out that says something like, "I guess Republicans rejoice now that there's another national tragedy in the United States." And she tweeted that out as the voice of ACN, the news network.
Was that the girl who chopped her hair off?
No, different girl. But anyways, she went home, realized what she had done, and deleted it right away. So it was only up for 27 minutes, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Hoping.
And then she went into work early the next day and is sitting there with 3 computer screens, refreshing, BuzzFeed, Gawker, all these things, just waiting for it to pop up. And the guy's like, "Why are you here?" She's like, "I came in to get fired." "Why? What happened?" She told him. Well,
that's a lot like the what is it? The talk show. The goddamn, I'm totally.
Oh yeah, Anthony.
Anthony. What's the two? Opie and Anthony.
Opie and Anthony. Yeah.
So Anthony had tweeted something out, and it could have been his opinion, but because that has such ramifications and you can't take it back once it's out there. I mean, isn't that a great lesson?
If you read his this is going to be where the part where I am going to agree with you probably on this one, or the side that you probably would take. I think that is fucking ridiculous.
That he got fired.
I can get attacked by somebody and I can fucking freak out about it. I've been physically assaulted. Now I know that's not a good idea, and I know the Count to 10 podcast would tell you that you need to kind of keep yourself under control when things happen. How you react to things is what matters. And I would totally agree with that, right? But when you are being literally assaulted, we have reactions, we have adrenaline, we have natural fight or flight things that happen. And now, yes, did you have access to social media when you're in that situation? No, probably not. At the same time, can we sit back and say, poor guy, holy shit. You know what I mean?
I don't know if anybody said that.
No, nobody said that, but I felt that way. So you call somebody a fucking savage. Guess what? She was. She was a fucking savage. And then she threatened him with that she's going to tell the cops that he sexually assaulted her.
Yeah, I'll just.
And then there was a bunch of guys standing around him going, "You do anything back to her, we're going to fuck you up." And at the same time, and on top of that, he didn't draw his weapon and do anything about it, which you hear about people getting shot all the time. For some kid just got shot on a college campus because he was being a sarcastic little dick to one of the campus cops, and the cop shot him. That's allegedly. Right?
Thank you.
And so here he is saying, and so here he is being assaulted by somebody, being surrounded by people saying, "Don't you fight back or we're going to fuck you up." And he doesn't pull his weapon and do anything about it. And yet when he sends a tweet out, part of me says, okay, maybe should he have reacted and shot somebody, and we can all deal with it that way, or should we react and he reacts on social media and gets his feelings out that way? He didn't lash out back at her. He just defended. He just held his arms up so he didn't get hurt too badly. He didn't lash out at her and hurt her. He didn't hurt anybody around him. He didn't shoot anybody. He didn't threaten anybody.
Right.
He just lashed out social media wise. So would we rather people lash out in the midst of a conflict, and that's okay? I mean, so I don't know if there's some leeway that needs to be given for people somehow.
This is an interesting scenario, but let's change the roles. Let's put different people into these same roles and see if we would react the same way. Okay. I feel like defending Anthony because, one, he's a friend of Joe Rogan's and he was attacked, right?
Well, and I feel like I've gotten I heard about him talking about it. I heard Joe Rogan talking about it multiple times. I got online and looked and read as much as I could about what I heard about it. Mm-hmm. I read the part about her point of view about it.
Okay.
And that's how I feel like I've come to like a conclusion about, because normally I probably wouldn't feel that. Part of me, my first initial reaction was not that.
But let's just say it's not Anthony. Let's say it's some person that I would consider a scumbag that works for paparazzi.
Okay.
Right? And it's somebody who is taking photographs without somebody's permission.
Right.
And then that person turns around and goes, "What the fuck, dude? Let's switch out the woman for a Hollywood actor."
Absolutely. So you took a picture of somebody and you turn around and say, "Dude, do not take my picture." And they stop. Because he stopped taking pictures. She's like, "Don't fucking take pictures of me." And he stopped taking pictures of her. So again, somebody asks you to do something and you do it. I mean, that's another part of it that bothers me.
But still, there's that invasion of privacy. If she wouldn't have, I know, but listen, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm just trying to move things around a little bit.
Fine.
You scared me there. I wasn't expecting you to do that. But if I'm unaware and somebody's taking pictures of me, or I'm walking with my wife, or my wife is ahead of me on the sidewalk and I notice somebody taking pictures of my wife without her consent, without going up to her first and saying, "Hey, would you mind if I took some pictures of you?" If I were to just see somebody taking pictures of my wife, I'd get really pissed off and I'd rush over to him, and I wouldn't expect him to stop taking pictures. I wouldn't expect him to give me the pictures back. He's already crossed a line where he didn't ask for permission, and he is intruding upon my privacy.
I think there's some steps in between. Okay? If I'm walking along and somebody starts taking pictures of my wife, and she says, "Can you stop taking pictures of me?" And he keeps doing it, and I say, "Dude, she still asked you to stop taking pictures of her, and you're still doing it. Stop taking pictures." And he keeps doing it. That to me, you're taking it up steps and levels that I think are okay.
But that person still has pictures of your wife.
Right.
I know you're probably like, "What? No big deal." But I mean, why would we allow ourselves to let people go that far? It's inappropriate.
Well, I mean, I guess you're right, paparazzi, but I guess you really have to keep it in the context of this. He wasn't going out and looking for people to shoot pictures of. He was walking around New York City taking pictures.
He was taking pictures of prostitutes too. He actually said that he went up to prostitutes and asked them if he could take pictures of them.
But he wasn't taking a picture of her as if she was a prostitute, was he?
I don't know.
He was just taking pictures of New York, and she was in one of the shots. Is what I thought.
He took pictures of prostitutes. He took pictures of buildings in that time of the morning because it's a magical hour, whatever, of New York. But he also took pictures of her.
Right.
But he had talked to, or there was some engagement with the prostitutes, when he took pictures of them. Whether the prostitute looked at him and said, "Oh, well, go ahead, baby," or whatever, or smiled or did whatever. But when both of those, her statement and his statement, there was no interaction until she noticed him taking pictures of her. At that point, I'd be really fucking pissed too. Dude, what the fuck are you doing? It's 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure I don't look the best, and I don't want you to have private pictures of me.
Right.
I don't want to think about somebody like some fucking creeper going around taking pictures of people. I wouldn't want somebody taking pictures of my children. I would react the same way I feel if somebody was taking pictures of my kids without my permission, or taking pictures of my wife or myself. I think you should make a rule or a judgment call and say, I apply this to everything like that. Especially in this scenario. If you wouldn't let some stranger take pictures of your kids, unbeknownst to you, you probably shouldn't allow some stranger to take pictures of your wife or any woman.
So what's the legality involved? I mean, paparazzi can take pictures of whoever they want, anytime they want, anywhere they want, right?
I think because they're employed and they say, "Oh, it's freedom of the press." I don't know. I don't know the legal ins and outs of it. I think that paparazzi are scum. I think that's one of the parts of our society that only makes our society worse. It's a lot like, to me, my opinion, it's a lot like the Housewives of Orange County or any of those reality shows like that, hey, let's we really need drama. We really need to make this into constant fighting, constant bickering, constant stabbing people in the back, or alleging to have done this so that there's drama. And that's all the paparazzi do. Now, was our society better back in the 60s and 70s? I don't know. I mean, racially, no. But was it better that we didn't have reporters going into the president's private lives? Was it better? If we knew everything back then about JFK that we know now, would we still look back at him and go, man, you were awesome? Or would he have been torn to fucking shreds like Clinton was, like Bush is, like every president does?
Clinton was at the beginning of the internet. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, for sure. And I wonder if, I mean, again, I think the fuel that feeds these things are part of it too. You know, I think like a good example would be E. They've taken reality shows and they're not, you know, it's hard for me to distinguish between them and TMZ. I mean, they use the same information. They use this similar pictures. I feel like E is like a friendly version of TMZ, you know, so it's paparazzi-ish. And I think that stars and people like that think that, oh, if I got to hang out with somebody, I might as well go on E and talk about whatever instead of getting caught in the street by TMZ and then posting it.
I have a hard time thinking that any star, I mean, besides like the ones that have really come out hard, like George Clooney against the paparazzi, right. I have a hard time thinking that any major celebrity thinks negatively. I mean, I'm sure that none of them like doing it, but they have an agent. A PR person who's trying to get their image out there all the time, trying to keep them hot on the
public eye.
Yeah, in the public eye constantly. So the only way you can do that is to constantly keep people's attention. And how do you keep people's attention? By being drama filled. Is Jennifer Aniston still after Brad Pitt? I mean, holy fuck! How long has that shit been going on?
Yeah, it's been over for a while, hasn't it?
I would say 15, 20 years.
I think Jennifer Aniston in Horrible Bosses is my favorite role of hers. It's because she's so fucking naughty.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
No, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I think everybody has always looked at her as, oh my God, you're super attractive from Friends and everything else. So then you watch Horrible Bosses and she goes, I want to be...
I want you guys to plow me on
I want you to plow me. And you're like, oh, it's a lot like Cards Against Humanity. You're not expecting it. There's that shock value and you're so taken off guard. And then you're like, and then guys
I always kind of thought that.
Instantly start thinking, oh my God, the girl next door, beautiful, and she's naughty.
Right.
And or she has that wonderful sense of humor that she's allowing herself to be in a goofy comedy.
Right.
Where she's playing a hooer.
Took me a couple seconds to figure out what you were saying.
What I was saying was whore.
Hooer.
Oh, I shouldn't say that.
That's better though. I like hooer.
Hooer.
You are such a hooer.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to belittle her.
No, it's funny sounding.
I'm celebrating the fact that she has a strong sexual appetite.
And she plays that's a very funny role for her. I think that's another part. Everybody's just kind of like, oh, that's so hilarious to see Jennifer Aniston say, I want you to fucking plow me. You know? Oh my God, it's so funny.
And to think, we started talking about this because we started with New Pioneer Co-op.
That's why it was almost called the rabbit hole. Because God only knows. And now that we're back to the New Pioneer Co-op, can we talk about erectile dysfunction for a second?
No, let's not. I like to keep myself as far away from erectile dysfunction as possible.
Well, let me tell you this.
Honestly, did you want to talk about erectile dysfunction?
I want to talk about health in general.
Okay, health in general.
So health in general. So this is what happened. This is a quick timeline. So I go to the doctor. He says, you're in great shape. I wish all my 40-plus-year-old people were in your kind of shape and all those kind of things. Tooted my horn big time. I felt fantastic when I walked out of this place.
Sure.
Okay. Then I get my cholesterol checked. No, let me back up again. So afterwards he goes, is there anything else that's bothering you? And I said, listen, I'm having a hard time keeping an erection. Not getting one, but keeping it. Right? It's like,
are you sure you want to talk about this?
I don't fucking care. So I said, well, that's kind of, I said, it's odd for me as I'm a normal guy like anybody else. And back in the day, you know, you could go for hours and hours and it didn't bother you at all. And so now I'm just like, well, this kind of sucks. I don't feel like I can last that long and that bothers me. You know, who wants to have sex for 5-10 minutes? And so he said, well, I can give you something to help you with that. I said, okay. So it's Viagra. So that works. Fantastic, actually. So then he wants me to get my cholesterol checked. So I do that. And it's 240, super high. He goes, okay, so I don't want you to die or have a heart attack or a stroke in the next 10 years. So I want you to cut back on this and increase these kind of things. And I said, okay, I can do that. No problem. So I start doing that right away. And then I hop online because I read all these like health and wellness websites, and it talks about heart health. And are you in danger of a heart attack? Here are some of the signs people don't really ever think of. But if you see these signs, you want to be aware of it. One is if you don't sleep well, if you snore. I do snore.
Right.
There's like the health of your gums. There's a second one that applied to me. And then the third one was erectile dysfunction. And so then last night I was making something for dinner, and I was sitting there stirring the soup, and I was like going, now I'm getting worried. Like I'm literally getting worried that I'm going to have a heart attack because I have high cholesterol, because I have 3 of these, I have half the signs that they pointed to of saying, be careful. Right. And so then I was like, holy shit. I actually have to start thinking about my mortality. It's so odd. It's the oddest feeling I've had in a really, really long time. But what it did was it right away made me start thinking about, if that's true, if my life is a little bit shorter than I think it's going to be, am I doing everything that I want to do right now to end my life doing? You know? It's the job that I have, the job that I really want to be having to do. Am I doing the things that make me passionate and make me love life? It's like, it's a whole scenario.
Dude, you had a mini midlife crisis.
Is that what it is?
That's what I would define it as.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I would say it was being shown my mortality to my face, kind of like going, whoa, fuck. But it wasn't like, oh, fuck, I'm going to die. It was more of like, wait a second, of course I'm going to die. This might be a little bit sooner than I think it's going to be, but am I doing everything that I want to do? You know, and that's why I was like, thank God I'm doing a podcast tomorrow, because that's what I really love doing. You know, and if I go out, I would like to go out knowing that I was really invested and deeply involved in what I love to do every day. And every time we do this, no matter who it's with, I realize more and more how much I like it, how much I love doing it. You know, and I wish that I could be a professional interviewer. Yeah. I mean, I would love to be paid to do this full time. But not like on the Today Show. I don't want to have 5 minutes with somebody. I would like to get to know someone. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so when I've talked in the past about, you know, having somebody on the show, like maybe Ashton Kutcher because he's from Iowa, or knowing Michael Pena, maybe having him on the podcast, it makes me think of, okay, they're really great actors. We'll say Michael Pena is a really great actor, right?
Okay, sure.
I would like to know more about him. I've hung out with him, had dinner with him, those kind of things, but I've never had a one-on-one 3-hour conversation with him. That allows us a chance to really get to know somebody. So I'd like to be able to be paid to do this as an interviewer and people to learn more about people, but really get to know people, not just have this little glimpse into their life because they have a new movie coming out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, yeah, this was kind of an epiphany. I guess you could say it was a little bit. I didn't feel like a midlife crisis. I didn't want to get a Mustang or anything. I was just thinking tomorrow I'm going to do a podcast, and I can't wait because that's really what I want to be doing, you know, as a job.
All right.
But I guess it could be midlife-ish.
I think that's a good one. I think that's fine. I would, like I said, I would define anytime somebody reaches a moment in their life where they start thinking about the end, where you start thinking about your glass is half empty, you know, to where I only have so much time. Have I lived my life so far? Am I at where I thought I would be at in my life? Or if I'm not, I only have X amount of time left.
Right.
And a lot of times that comes at the middle point of your life, in your mid-40s.
Right.
Some people might have that in their 30s. Some people might not ever have that because
Right.
they feel like they've always achieved that goal. They're doing what they've always wanted to do.
And the weird part is I feel very happy. I feel very happy and satisfied with my life. Mm-hmm. It was more of like, can I take it to that next level where I'm like, not only am I happy with my life, but I am like experiencing life to the fullest as I'm doing everything that I want to do.
Yeah. Well, I think the more you investigate something, the more that you open your eyes to the world, the more you discover there's so much more out there that you've never interacted with.
Right.
You've never had an experience with. So when it comes to things like ayahuasca, and I growing up, I've never really gone out or wanted an experience to where I have a psychedelic trip. I've never really strived for that.
And you know what? Acid still scares me, but I'd be willing to give it a shot if it was controlled and in a safe place.
But now I've gotten to this point in my life where I feel like if I continue doing what I'm doing, which is very easy, you get into a routine, and before you know it, you're 20 years old and you get into a routine. Before you know it, you're 35 and you're like, holy fuck, I followed the exact same formula for the last 15 years, and I really don't have anything different to show for it.
Right.
Except for the fact that I'm older. And
But
15 years have gone by like that. And I'm not going to get those 15 years back. So how do I need to change my life right now to have a different outcome, or to feel differently about it, or more passionate about it?
Well, I just keep getting caught off guard by the fact that we started doing this with the idea we'd have a great time together, like we always do.
Right.
Yeah. And it's turned into something that we both are like going, whew, we really like doing this.
Well, yeah, we're really thinking more deeply about our surrounding society, inventions, and I'm kicking around the idea of having even another podcast where I go out and I try to show people or help people understand a midlife crisis.
How about a midlife life coach?
Midlife life coach?
Midlife.
I wonder
life
if that's,
coach.
I mean, isn't that what life coaches kind of are?
But you could be geared towards
The
middle-aged men. I think, trademark, I think you might have a niche there. Could you imagine the midlife crisis coach? The midlife
crisis coach?
I mean, there are lots of guys who are like, going to go to a life coach. Oh, Jennifer Murphy, you're so nice. You're so positive. Help me get my life on track. Right? Which I agree with. That she's wonderful.
Right.
But you get some fucking dude, what the fuck, man? I'm 45 years old and this has happened and this has happened. I don't know what the hell my problem is. Why can't I focus on this? I really want to be doing this. Who can I talk to about it? Who can I listen to about it? I think you'd find people like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, you and I found we've helped each other find some of that through Joe Rogan's podcast and learning more about things. He's changed my views on a tremendous amount of stuff. You still make fun of me because of that. We've learned a lot.
I don't make fun of you. I like to remind you of where you were and what you've said, because there has been a huge change in your thinking.
Yeah. So I think that could be a fun thing to be part of, is to do a midlife guy, life coach. I think that would be fucking awesome. I think of all the middle-aged guys you can get on here. Well, that'd be great.
I think about all of the trappings of a midlife crisis. What are the stereotypical problems that are associated with a midlife crisis?
Weight gain.
Well, yeah, weight gain, but big expenditures on like fast sports cars. Cheating on your wife.
Literally the expression of a midlife crisis.
The most stereotypical, worst
cheating on your wife,
of
getting a sports car.
Yeah. It's things like that.
Find something younger to be with so you feel younger.
Right. Or, it's a time where you start reflecting back on your life and you start saying to yourself, I've made obligations when I was younger, when I was in my 20s. Obligations that have locked me into a deal where I feel like I cannot change the parameters of that deal. So for the next 60 years, this is it. Right. And I didn't realize that I wanted to have a foursome. Yes. Or maybe if I would have had a foursome,
I'm good with a threesome.
Or a threesome. A foursome. Yeah, I don't know. I had to overdo it.
I want person on the side just waiting.
Yeah,
so I just
want somebody.
Tap in. Let's go.
I want somebody to stand in the corner and feel more out of place than I do with two women. So what are you doing over there? No, nothing. Yeah, me too. Anyway, but if I would have had an experience, or I think a lot of men and women, when they hit their midlife crisis, they start thinking about, what haven't I done?
And you make it really big too. Yeah. It's not like, I didn't have a threesome. It's like, oh my God, I've got to have a threesome. It stops being this like thing of like, oh, that would have been crazy in college if I had had this happen.
Or if you would have had that, if you would have had experiences when you were younger, do you necessarily have as strong of a midlife crisis? Let's say you were adventurous when you were younger. You traveled around the world. You didn't go to college right away, but you backpacked around Europe, right. And you actually got to experience life, not just this cookie cutter, get out of high school, go to college, get done with college, get a job, deal with debt, get the kid, the normal droning on of American life.
Right.
And if you experienced some of that stuff when you were younger, out of the way, get crazy,
out of your system, kind of
do some shrooms, do some marijuana, go overseas, see different lifestyles, have a threesome, have some gay sex. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. But if you would have answered those questions as a younger person and then made your commitment to whoever you're going to be with,
right.
I wonder, would you have as strong of a midlife crisis, or would you have a midlife crisis when you reach that age where you're like, okay, I kind of am at the top of the hill. I'm not saying I'm going to die tomorrow, but I think really from here on out, I got 40 years left. If I live another 40 years, I'll be 80. I really don't see myself living to 80, even though people do live past 80, because I don't take care of myself well enough.
We'll live way past that.
Maybe.
Well, I just think in science, period, the next 40 years is going to change overnight.
Yeah. So,
anyways, go ahead.
So hopefully, one, I could interview people or talk to people, or it would be honestly, the podcast would be a really selfish thing. It would be more about, maybe I could sell it as I'm trying to help other people, but really it would be a selfish thing as far as what could I talk about and learn about that makes my midlife crisis less and less and less.
But remember, that is what this podcast is about. This podcast is obviously for us to get something from personally. We're learning about Katie Morio and what she accomplished with the Ironman. We learned about her as a pharmacist, thinking you're nutty because you don't want to take a flu shot. We found all these little teeny things, right?
Sure.
We're on a self-discovery path as well when we have these people on. You're not going to be doing this podcast. Oh, of course you are. You're going to be doing this podcast thinking, hey, maybe I can have some reach and maybe I can get paid a little bit from it. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you're going to be talking to people. And I think that as you help people deal with something, or you develop ideas for people to kind of use, you're gaining those as well. It's like when you, if you try to tell somebody how to do something, it doesn't go as well. When you try to teach somebody how to do something, you learn as well. You know what I mean? Whether you become more patient, or you tell them about something and they share something and you go, oh, fuck, you're right. That fits. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. You're always going to get something from it. If we can turn this into a monetary thing, fucking absolutely it's going to be monetary, and we should do that so that we're happy. Not that we're not going to be fucking millionaires, but we can have a good time doing it.
I see what you and I want to do a lot like what one of my friends from elementary school I grew up with. His name is Adam, and he moved to his dad always loved hunting. He was always a huge duck hunter, and now Adam lives in Alaska, and he takes people on hunting trips, and that's his life. He has surrounded himself with the thing that he loves to do, and has figured out a way to make a living at it. And
how weird is that? Because I have a friend from elementary school as well, who was on one of those reality TV shows on Discovery Channel. And he might be around at some point, either to Skype or be on our podcast with us. And he does the exact same thing, dude. He lives in Alaska. That is his job. Jason Lesmeister's Alaskan Travel Guide. That's what it is.
Really?
We both have friends who were hunter-gatherers growing up and turned themselves into exactly what they wanted to be. That's pretty awesome.
I just think it's the epitome of anybody deciding, hey, this is exactly what I want to do. How do I make the thing that makes me the happiest? How do I figure out a way to survive off of doing that thing?
Sure.
And if everybody could do exactly what they want to do in life, exactly what they're passionate about, think about how many fucking happy people we would have. There's a guy that I work with. He is the shittiest fucking supervisor ever. Management material, he is not.
Right.
Okay? But he's a hell of a human being, and he's a great woodworker. So if that guy every day could be mentoring somebody in a workshop, or could be just creating something, and he would not have to worry about bills or health care, all he had to do was get up every morning and do what he loved to do. How different would our world be?
Right.
I know that's not reality for everybody because we need people to serve us up McDonald's.
I know, but I wonder that's when I feel sometimes we have to wonder if we need to reevaluate society and the things we put importance on.
What was that? What was your friend's name?
Jason Lesmeister.
Oh, Jesus. Les?
L-E-S. Meister.
M-E-I-S-T-O-R. E-R.
Yeah, it should be like Alaskan.
Yeah.
He was on a show where he hunts a lot of bears, and so he gets called. He was on the show. He gets called into what was it? He gets called in to like help mining people who are mining, or oil companies will come in and say, "Hey, we have a bear that's bothering the camp where everybody sleeps at." And so he'll go in. And so one episode he went in, there's this huge bear, and so he got the bear was going in and like destroying like areas where there was food, obviously. Mm-hmm. And this is an episode I saw a long time ago. He went and found a bunch of fish. And he dug a hole into this area away from the camp and put all the fish in there and then baited it for the bear. And so the bear, he said, the bear is going to go to where it wants to find food. So if it's not here in the camp and they do a better job of keeping their food up and out of the way, and I give him a new place to go to, he'll remember that place and he'll go back there instead of bugging the camp, the camp. And so he set up this like bear trap, for lack of a better word, because of that. So
this is his website, jasonsguideservice.com.
Yep, that's it. That's Jason.
And yeah, that looks pretty cool.
And he'll love this, as I'll bring it up in the podcast if we get a chance to have him on. He started a club called the Cool Cat Cool Club. And we were like in third or fourth grade.
Dude, you've said that to me before, the Cool Cat Cool Club.
Yeah, you want to be part of the Cool Cat Cool Club? And now, we used to tease him pretty bad about it. Now it's like one of my fondest memories. My brother and I still talk about the Cool Cat Cool Club. Yeah. Yeah. He's a good dude. And his parents and my parents are very good friends. And his dad had a radio show in Minnesota, a hunting and fishing radio show for lots of years, and still does that.
Right.
His dad is a singer-songwriter as well, Tim. Good people, and I met them all when I was very, very young. So I shouldn't say that I've known Jason for a long time. We were together for 3 or 4 years when we were little. You know, third, fourth grade, that kind of third, fourth, fifth grade, those kind of ages.
Right.
And then we slowly kind of kept track of each other over the years. But now the latest thing he showed on his Facebook page was this fucking grizzly bear that he hunted with this guy. The head, they skinned it. So the skull was sitting on a cooler. Just the head was the biggest fucking thing. I remember just
amazed.
To me, it was like, I couldn't gather my thoughts around how crazy big the thing was. And I wonder if I could pull it up. I don't have it on my Facebook, I don't think.
This is my childhood chum, Adam Reed. He is there on the right. He's the tall fella with the baseball cap.
It'd be interesting to see if they know who they are, you know?
Yeah, maybe they've heard of each other.
It's not a very big place, you know?
So if you went to, let's see here.
You can go to Jason Lesmeister's Facebook page too.
Yeah. Pretty cool. And of course, you all are seeing this. This, I think, is Adam's website. I don't know. I have to look into it a little bit further.
But the interesting thing is, I talk about wanting to, hunt my own food, getting to the point where I possibly could hunt my own food. It's shocking to even hear myself say it out loud.
Because hold on. You would actually have to kill something.
The idea of gutting something sounds really bad. But
I'm going to devour this sweet rice.
I was kind of like, dude.
What? What is wrong with you? Wow.
Jesus H. Christ. Look at the size of that fucking bear, dude.
Okay, you gotta. How'd you get on that?
Now, it's on, if you go to Jason's Guide Service on Facebook, go to Facebook and do Jason's Guide Service.
I gotta sign in.
Don't let anybody see your name. You get a bunch of dick pics.
What's wrong with you?
I'm just saying.
Don't let anybody see your page.
But I don't know if the picture's on here of the skull.
Jason, what?
Jason's Guide Service. I don't know how would you carry that thing out? That bear's got to be.
Oh, this ain't right. I've done something wrong. What exactly?
Jason's, JASON''S, Guide Service.
Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so from here...
Go to Photos.
Okay.
Scroll down. Keep going. You'll see it coming up. Right there.
Oh, my God.
Jesus, dude.
All right, so this is where I show everybody the picture. That's fucking crazy. And it looks like he got shot in the gut, dude. It looks like
I don't think so.
No, it looks like there's a ton of blood on his belly.
On his belly.
Can you imagine that thing running at you? Look at the paws. The paws on that thing is bigger than his head.
Now you can see when I said, look at this, when I saw the skull, look at that. But look at right there off to the side.
What?
Look at the comment. No, that's what a dick looks like. Now what are you going to do with that animal? Hope you feel proud. So just hate. Look at that. Look at Jason's. That's what a cub-killing, calf-eating brown bear looks like, and he's big enough to feed a village.
Wow. That would be possibly the scariest fucking thing ever.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine putting yourself in a position where you're actually hunting something like that one can climb trees, and two, disembowel you with one swipe of his claw?
Oh, my God. If you got to go, that's how I want to go.
No.
Be quick.
No. Heart attack either while I'm sleeping or in the middle of sex.
In the middle of sex.
And by the way, I do not want to go like a lot of people go, and this surprised me, but a lot of people die on the shitter.
Because they're bearing down, or what?
Yeah, because they're bearing down. Yeah, massive heart attacks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There was a guy, my old job, a guy recently died from my previous job.
Really?
He died in the bathroom, and I had made the offhanded remark, I hope he didn't die in the shitter like Elvis. I hope he didn't die like Elvis. Because Elvis is synonymous with dying on the shitter, you know? Of course, you think about all of Elvis's wonderful songs and things like that.
Yeah, like In the Ghetto, the worst song ever fucking created.
Okay, listen. Okay. There's a lot of people who love Elvis, all right? The king of rock and roll.
The guy who stole all his music from all the African Americans that he's
Yes,
with.
he's also synonymous with that. But also, along those lines, people also think of him as the guy who died on the shitter.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And shot the TV. Yeah.
Right? So I made that offhanded comment. He didn't pull an Elvis Presley, did he? And yeah, that's a very common thing, is when people have bad, heart conditions, and they're bearing down, trying to push out a shit, and you, boom, massive heart attack, done.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
First of all, you're not eating well enough, because you should not have to bear down like that to take a shit. Taking a shit should be a pretty normal, relaxed
I think
thing.
people would say if you have bad heart disease, you probably aren't eating correctly either. But wouldn't that be? I just don't want to die. That I don't want to be eaten by a bear, and I don't want to die in the shitter.
That's funny.
Is that a deal? And I don't. I also don't want the last thing that I see a great white shark's mouth opening. That's not.
I would like for you to do Escaping Alcatraz with me. That's what I want.
No. You know what I would like? Give me a more give me a more reasonable challenge. Give me something that, one, is beautiful, but two, the only thing I have to worry about in this fucking event is drowning, not being eaten. Okay? So why don't we go to pick someplace that's beautiful, and we'll start doing some sprint triathlons maybe. But you know what? If I do this, the first thing out of my wife's mouth is going to be, oh, fuck. Does this mean you're going to go out, you're going to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a wetsuit and a new bike dear. And all this other stuff? Yes, dear. Are you paying attention? You're fucking with your phone.
Sorry,
aren't you?
I was making sure it was turned off.
It's not turned off.
No, I was making sure it was turned down.
Oh, it's turned down.
Because I'm laughing because that's what you do.
I know that's what I do. So if I were to bring this thing, listen, there's only so many minutes in a day. And you and I have full-time jobs, and we're trying to make this. We put together this podcast, and I also am a part of TPSP Productions.
Right.
So I have to work with my partner to try and put together all these other podcasts. And before you know it, there's not enough time in the fucking day. I would love to do a lot of other things. In fact, I tried to get lucky last night in the middle of the night because that's the only time I can try to squeeze in sex is in the middle of the night when I wake up. I couldn't even squeeze it in then because my child, any one of the three, loves to climb into our bed every single night.
You set the rules for that one, my friend.
No, I fought it for a few years and then I gave up because I was just broken as a human being. I couldn't handle it anymore. Okay, hey, listen, we started talking about grocery stores and New Pioneer Co-op, which I think is extremely important in people's diet and their health.
Erectile dysfunction.
Yeah. Did we talk about this before we hit record? But
what?
If there was two medical things that I thought would be the most important thing that could possibly happen in our lifetime.
It was before the recording. Go ahead.
Okay. I think two things would be, one, being able to place an implant in people's skin to where you can give injections over and over and over again. And it's something that stays there permanently. It's done deal. You find some place on the human body that is not an annoying thing, not an annoying place. It wouldn't bother you all the time, but something that is man-made, you can place into your body where you could easily place injections into. You think about the people that have diabetes. You think about any other person that has to take the whole prescription medication business model would change, because right now medicine that you take has to fight its way through the stomach. A lot of times the stomach, with its acids and things like that, it's very hard for the medicine to get past the stomach, to get to the intestines, to actually be absorbed into the body to where it's useful. So if you had something to where it's like some place that you could inject yourself over and over and over again without there being any pain, the world of prescription medicine would be completely and utterly different.
I wonder if there are some people that have that already in, if they're getting like serious radiation, or if it's
an irritant. It's an irritant. It's big and bulky. And
so where would you put a portal like that?
I don't know.
I would think that inside your arm would be the best spot.
There would have to be a study done or something like that, some research done to where exactly would be the least intrusive spot. It might be on the back of the neck. It might be behind your ear.
Sign of the devil right there.
Like, what spot on you do you touch or would touch anything else the least amount? You know, and I think probably maybe the back of your neck.
Probably
just a weird spot that is
you don't get hit there very often. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's nothing that gets bumped there very much.
Right.
You couldn't really do any self-administering the.
Yeah. Again, it that would be one thing. So creating something that you could inject yourself with different medicines painlessly,
Sure,
over and over again. That would be one thing. The other thing would be, like I said, because pills and everything else, it would change. Everything would become injectable. If you could do that. If every single person had something like that on them, you would no longer have to worry about prescription medication getting past the stomach. That would just be removed.
Isn't
from
that
the
part
equation.
of some of the shit that's in medicine is to kind of counteract and get through?
Get past. To put it into a capsule so that it survives getting through all the acid and stuff like that in the stomach. So that it can actually be absorbed by the body.
Don't they have... Well, and I guess that would be convenient because they have the air guns, right, that shoot in your shoulder?
Yeah, but it's painful and you...
Oh, it hurts?
And you bleed.
I haven't heard. I haven't.
Have you ever had that?
I think I've had it one time. I didn't think it was that bad.
It's not that bad, but it's still... It stings a little bit and you bleed from it.
Oh.
I'm talking something that's completely... Once that patch or whatever is put on you, it doesn't... There's no nuisance.
It makes complete sense when it comes to the idea of us being biological things that need to have stuff done to them, whether it's get a shot for the flu, which you wouldn't do, whether it's getting I don't want lockjaw, so if I step on a rusty nail, I need to go in. What's that shot I get if I need
tetanus?
Get my tetanus shot. So I wonder if everybody should have a little portal to do that, so it's just easier, so you don't have to go through the stomach anymore. You know, you could probably get a syringe that, as a child, your parents can just screw it in and inject the stuff right into your blood and unscrew it, and you're okay.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it even has enough data in it so you can plug a sensor into a computer, and it just riddles off shitloads of data, so a doctor doesn't have to sit there and take your blood pressure and take your temperature and all those things. You sit down, you plug it into the computer, or you do it at home and you send your doctor your physical and say, hey, doc, this is what my readings are saying right now. Everything look okay? Yep. Goes to your company you work for. Your physical is good to go. You're done. Instead of all this other rigmarole. I mean, it would just make things so much easier. And you would think that we're getting close to those kind of things already. But I bet you before we even get the portals put in, you could just wave a wand over somebody and it just fucking knows all the information. You know what I mean? Seriously, I bet that would happen.
Well, we're slowly getting to the point to where medicine can be customizable, where you could take a blood sample of yourself, have it diagnosed, and it can tell you exactly what your deficiencies are. We're getting closer and closer.
Dr. Rhonda Patrick talked about...
That's what she's...
It's a $99 blood test that you can send in. But I don't think it tells you everything. It tells you like certain things.
But she's working on, I believe she's also working on a device, kind of like, a lot like what diabetics use to prick their finger, and then, they put that.
It says you're deficient in iron or you're low in vitamin C or something. I mean, it just tells you a bunch of data like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But how could you break that data down? How can you make something that's small and compatible like what people with diabetes have?
Like I said, I would love to get information like that, but I don't want to go to, again, Target or Walmart and say, oh, there's a bottle of vitamin C, I'll use that. And then, I come to find out that it's got maybe traces of vitamin C in it. I would rather, again, I would like her to say, you're deficient in this area, so go to this company and buy this product. It's the best of the best.
But,
so you have some guidance.
But you're also depending on a third party. Whereas if eventually something like this was invented to where you could have you just prick your finger, a super tiny invasive thing, prick your finger, get a little bit of blood, and the machine can tell you exactly, break down all the different things. Right. This is what your hormone levels are. This is what your vitamin levels are. And everybody can have it in their home. I mean, we have supercomputers in our home compared to what they were in the early 90s. These fucking things are more advanced than what we took up to the moon.
Right. I think the hard part is, though, you're going to have to take out, which you've talked about plenty of times, is the greed involved. You're going to have to either find a pharmaceutical company that's willing to be part of it to make money off of it for it to become mainstream.
Why does a
or
pharmaceutical company have to do it? Why can't somebody just invent a machine that can plug into any
because they'll
computer?
they'll buy the machine from them, or they'll have enough money and enough influence. They might shut it down so he can't even fucking begin to get that thing out there.
Possibly.
So I'm saying the greed that's involved and the self-centeredness that's involved in a lot of this stuff and the politics that are involved.
Yeah, but that's
the hard part.
Think of the positive. Let's not think about the negatives right now, because the negatives can be super daunting. But think about the positives.
Right.
If you had the ability to know exactly how well this machine, which I call your body, is running, what's it's lacking, and what it has too much of.
Your car tells you when it needs oil.
Yeah, you could totally specialize your treatment daily. Every morning you go in.
That would be awesome to go in and say, and get a little reading and say, here's your daily vitamin.
Yeah.
It was different than yesterday's vitamin because today you are a little lacking in here. And that's a great idea.
Exactly. Because then, also, when you're taking in supplements, whether it's a protein shake, vitamin D supplement, vitamin C, like you said earlier, it would also hold those companies accountable to not be giving you bullshit. So if I just took a protein shake, drank it down, waited a couple hours, took my blood sample, and they said, yeah, you
just drink a bunch of filler.
You're not getting the protein that you think you're going to get.
Right.
Oh, let me try this other brand. Boom, you're right on task. You're getting too much protein. You can dial it back. Do 1.5 scoops instead of 2 scoops. Perfect. I'm going to go with that one. And now those businesses that did false advertising, or because it's a dietary supplement and they can get around some of the FDA bullshit, those companies are going to fall away to the wayside, because you're able to look at yourself and say every day, okay, this is what I need, and I can specialize my own treatment.
I saw some meme the other day that said, and I'm not trying to be too negative again, but it had a list of all the things the FDA
By the way,
approved.
that's my job.
Yeah, you're not kidding. All the things the FDA has proved, right? And then it had one thing that it says disapprove, and I don't think it was marijuana, but it was like one thing over here that the FDA disapproves, and it's like aspartame, sucralose, all the horrible things that we have in food now are all okayed by the FDA, but yet some of the natural things are completely illegal. It was a crazy meme, and again, it was one of those things where I was like, oh. When people put things side like that for me and compare things like that, that's when it makes you go, okay. Now, listen, I think the FDA is important because it keeps track of people of not putting too much shit into our food. And part of me says that the FDA is approving that, saying, just so you know, this stuff is in here. And it's only trace amounts because if too much of this is going to be bad for you. So I don't mind some regulation by any means, but to ban some things and not ban others is just kind of like, come on, you guys, especially when it comes to marijuana. You know me and marijuana stuff.
Well, I'm actually very surprised that it's taken this long for marijuana for its legalization in many states to happen, because look how it's been in our society for so long. Look at the early 60s and 70s and look at it, how much people were using it before it became illegal.
Right.
Before they created and made it illegal, and they made hemp illegal because of cotton, because they were the cotton growers and the CEOs of that industry were like, "Oh, I feel threatened by hemp.
Let's get involved with the government and ban it."
Right. I wonder just why have we gone so long without making it legal? It's just so fucking, it just really surprises me that now we're making it legal. What has happened in this last 5 to 10 years?
We're becoming socially more liberal is I think what's happening.
Is it that, or is it the fact that we have such amazing internet communication now with
absolutely that's
that type of thing.
That's absolutely part of it.
Because I think we've always used pot as much as we have been, and I think that there were more legitimate studies done about the benefits of pot,
right?
Way back in the day before it was really truly illegal, before 1980 and the whole war on drugs really truly began. I think there was more studies done on it back then. I think we were more knowledgeable of it back then. So why is it?
But still think about it. If somebody were to say to you, okay, your son just had a traumatic brain injury. Right now, I need you to find some marijuana and have him smoke it. Your initial reaction is like, oh, what? Wait a second. What are you talking about? If you didn't know that studies show that an immediate dose of THC after head trauma reduces the amount of damage that's caused by that. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That it still takes you, as progressive as you are with your thinking about marijuana, it takes you a moment to go, oh, you want me to take marijuana instead?
Right now I'm going to pull up. I think we easily are swayed by the normal mass media, right? What we
so
see.
Why does Joe Rogan sway us then? You have the mass media on one side, you have one single voice on another.
I think because beyond a shadow of a doubt that he is not being swayed by his sponsors.
So he's not owned by anybody?
He's not owned by anybody. No one's paying him for a certain message. And because he's our age, I think that I identify with him a lot because...
Oh, sure. That has an effect.
Yeah, I don't look at him and go, oh, you're a 1%er. Right.
Sure.
Oh, you work at Fox News. Oh, yeah, you cannot relate at all with me. Oh, you're a lawyer. You can't fucking relate to me at all.
Okay.
You know, I look at Joe Rogan and I think, here's somebody who has struggled, who has had to deal with being up on stage and having people heckle him.
Right.
And he's put himself out there and he's been very successful. It's not like he has had the hardest life in the whole world.
Sure.
But his experiences in his life, one, are entertaining to me, and two, I think where he's at right now is a very earned spot.
And very honest. You know what I mean?
Right.
He has no reason not to be straightforward with you. You know? And I listen to him sometimes and I'm like, I can see why people think he's really obnoxious sometimes. You know? But at the same time, it's almost like he's just being himself. So if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. You know? Or there are parts of my personality that you don't like. You know, there are parts of your personality that I don't like.
I love every piece of your personality.
But it doesn't stop you from still liking something. You know what I mean? And so I think that's his biggest appeal for me personally. He's just a guy. He's just a person who has a voice, and people are willing to listen. You know, and I think another part of it too is because he's not owned by anybody, he does whatever he wants that he thinks is going to help fulfill himself, and he shares that. So I love the fact that when he went hunting for the first time and he shot that deer, you never saw the episode on Real Sports where he shot the deer. It was his first time hunting, and he said he was either going to be a hunter or he's going to be a fucking vegetarian. Those were his choices he thought he got to. And he sits down and talks about shooting this deer, and there's a camera on him when he kills this deer, and he's like, you can see the emotion on his face, like, I just fucking killed something. You know, he was exhilarated. They've been hiking all day long. They've been tracking these deer all day long. And he finally got a shot, and the guy's like, holy shit, you got it, one shot, nice job, right? You can see him just going, whew, whew, like taking it all in, that, oh shit, I just did this. You know?
I think a lot of it is not only just the fact that I've taken a life. I don't want to downplay.
He wasn't trying to, and I don't think he was making a big deal about that either. But
I think your adrenaline is pumping so much when I have a lot of my friends are hunters, and they talk about the adrenaline is pumping so much when that opportunity arises. They're in their tree stand or they're wherever they need to be, and they're going to take that shot. For it to finally happen, once the shot's taken and they've bagged that deer or whatever.
Right.
It's almost like this, wow, just almost like this screaming.
Release.
Oh, this huge pent up, all this emotion is all bottled up, and you got to be super quiet. You got to be really, really quiet. You can't move. Okay. And boom, an explosion of things happen. Your gun goes off, your bow, you fire your arrow, wham, all of a sudden it goes from life, you're dead. It was a great shot. You were quiet. All these things kind of were pent up for so long, and then it's just this huge release of emotion. And people deal with it differently, and maybe one guy was super taken back emotionally by it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and he wasn't super emotional about it necessarily. It was more of like, I think what you said, it's just I've been doing this all day. I've been hiking all day long, and then towards this thing that I knew was coming, and now it's here. how do I feel about that? Mm-hmm. That's kind of one of those kind of reactions. But I like the fact that he went in saying it was two things were going to happen. I was going to start hunting and eating my own meat, or I was going to be a fucking vegetarian the rest of my life. He went in open to the idea. He didn't go in with a lot of preconceived notions or a way of thinking about things. He thought, well, we'll see what happens. And I guess that's probably his biggest appeal to me is that. It's the fact that I'm just going to keep trying stuff. I love the fact when they talk about like Sean Hannity or something. Yeah, God, he just needs to take some mushrooms. He'd be a better person. He has kind of a philosophy of life that I don't think would work for everybody. Like I said, I am as nervous as fuck to ever think about taking acid. But DMT or something like that. I'd be willing to, if it's going to be that much of a mind opening experience. That's what I want from it. I don't want to do an illicit drug just to be, on the edge. I want to see if does it help me somehow, and if it doesn't help me, then it doesn't help me.
If there's anything that really helps people put things in perspective, it's graphs. I don't know why, but bar graphs really help me put things into perception. Helps me put things in perception.
Perspective.
God damn, what's wrong with me? Perspective.
Oh my God, look at tobacco.
But these are the things that we've heard about, but we don't pay enough attention to. And then look at where drug abuse is on this scale.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Tobacco smoking. This is a graph of obviously preventable causes of death. And for those of you who are listening on iTunes or something like or Stitcher, tobacco smoking is the leader, and it's over 400,000 deaths a year by tobacco smoke. The next one is overweight and obesity, and that is right around 350,000 deaths per year. And then the next one is alcohol, and alcohol is right around 80,000 deaths per year. And what comes in last is drug abuse. Sexually transmitted diseases and infections, firearm deaths, they come in ahead of illegal drug abuse.
And is that a media thing? That's a media thing? They've hyped it up so much?
I don't know. And I take this all with a grain of salt. I pulled this up from Google. Come on. Who? I have no idea how legitimate that graph is. Truly.
Who's it by?
Let's see.
What's the website?
The EJBM.wordpress.com. Let's see. The effects of poverty on child health and development are well known and were documented by Dr. Bernard Dreyer during his 2012 American Pediatric Society address. They included increased infant mortality, health, and blah blah blah. That's on that webpage. The U.S. Health Disadvantage. So anyway, I think it's good though. I think that should be more. That should almost be a picture on all of our TVs that are just burned into the corner of our images on our TVs. Is here's a bar graph of what's important.
Yeah. I think you're right.
This is the type of shit that's really killing people all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Is Ebola, is that really, truly the thing that we need to be focusing on? Oh, wait, there's 4 deaths. How many deaths from tobacco? Right. Okay, let's stop talking about Ebola.
Well, and
it's sensational, and we can make it out to be super scary. But in relationship to how many deaths a year?
Sure. Well, and I guess part of me, I think the reason why I like the idea of Joe Rogan, like hunting and things like that, is more of the idea of being self-sustaining, that I remove myself so much from nature that the idea of going out and cutting the head off a chicken and plucking it and eating it is so fucking bizarre to me that I don't like that fact. I want to wait a second. You know what? I should not be eating chicken then, because if I can't go out and if I can't even think about the idea of going out and cutting the head off a chicken, plucking it and eating it, then there's something wrong with me, because you know what? That's somebody else is doing it for me. I'm removing myself from that circle that I really think I should be part of.
Well, I think the Naked Chef Jamie Oliver said it.
Is he vegetarian?
Perfect. No, I don't think so.
He's not? Okay.
Well, I have no idea.
Neither do I.
The Naked Chef, Jamie Oliver, he hit one of his famous statements is, you should be much more connected with where your food comes from. you should know where it comes from. You should know how it was raised. You should know what it went through before you eat it. I mean, we all need to be more connected instead of so disengaged to where we just take stuff from fast food joints and be like, we don't give a fuck. Right. Well, do you realize what you're eating is? You know, do you know how it was raised? Do you know what it is? So being able to, would you be able to walk up to a cow? Would you be able to walk into a slaughterhouse, carve yourself up some ribeyes and eat it? Because even to me seems like so foreign.
Right, and so that's why a cow is pretty big.
It is.
I'd rather buy buffalo from the wild buffalo ranch, and he slaughters them himself. You know, he has them processed somewhere else, but he kills them on site.
Wild Buffalo Ranch,
Running Wild Buffalo Ranch, Center Point Road. And so I know where it's coming from. I know what he does. I know how he handles the meat and how he handles the carcass. And so I guess I have a different appreciation for it at that point. And if I could, man, the idea of processing a buffalo, holy shit, does that sound like a lot of work. But a chicken, yes. A turkey, yes. I could probably kill a turkey. I think I could kill a chicken. A deer, I could probably kill a deer, but deer aren't small. You know what I mean? But I mean, I think I'm getting to there. I'm getting to that point, I think, where I think I might. And the hard part is that hunting is fucking expensive, dude. And so I'm trying to think of a way of.
Listen, it can be. There's a guy I work with who he said his father hunted with a wrist rocket, slingshot, and a bow and arrow.
What do you do with it?
Not a compound either. Like with his slingshot, he would hunt squirrels and rabbits.
Oh, interesting.
But it wasn't a compound bow. He didn't have sights. It was something that he used every day, and he was so good at it. It was like fucking Robin Hood.
Just pop a squirrel out of a tree. Oh, fuck yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, but so you don't need to spend a lot of money.
Right.
But if you're just a hobbyist where you're going to go out once a year, maybe you need to have all the
My dad has
extra things.
11 acres that deer fucking all over the place at. And so I could put a deer stand up there, and once every season... Are you going to put it in a
poison sumac?
Probably, yeah. So it sways over so I can be face-to-face with the deer. It makes you think that, you know, I could go out once a season, I could get 3 or 4 deer a year, and that'd be a good freezer full of meat for a good chunk of time, you know, and that would be much better than buying stuff from the store. Having 5 or 6 chickens in my backyard that I raise over 6 months, I believe is what their lifespan is to get them to be adulthood, and then to slaughter them and pluck them, and there's 6 chickens in a 6-month time period. That's a chicken a month. If I wanted to, I could double that and have 2 chickens a month. And I mean, if you start thinking about it, about how you're going to feed yourself and your family, that's kind of how I compound it.
Yeah.
That seems feasible to me. It doesn't seem that difficult to do.
But I still have my wife's living hell.
I know. Yeah, your wife is all about the accommodations, but I still think that. Yeah, because he doesn't even like gardens, but
yeah,
I still think that we're going to have to get to that point. I mean, everything is kind of turning towards that. Technology is either going to save us or it's going to keep on separating us.
Or it's going to kill us.
It's going to separate us into the haves and have-nots very, very quickly. And I think that the people who are actually going to be the best off are the ones that are self-sustaining.
You know, when these leaps forward in science and medicine happen. I mean, there was a guy just talking about how he's treating traumatic brain injury and PTSD, how he is treating them with hormone replacement therapy.
Right. God, that was fascinating.
And how that also is helping with your cardiovascular health. Is your hormone replacement therapy. I think when we have breakthroughs like that, you're going to start to see a widening of the divide between the haves and the have-nots. Is it covered by your HMO? Is it not?
Probably not.
Is it not covered by your insurance? Well, who has the money to pay for that?
Right. No, you're right.
It's not going to be as blatant as, only the rich can do this. It's going to be, no, it's available to everybody if your insurance covers it.
Right.
Well, who can afford that insurance? Because my insurance doesn't. You're not part of my in-network provider.
Right. Well, I mean, did I see some kind of TV show for a while where...
Are you asking me a question if you saw a TV show?
Well, you and I talk a lot about TV shows, usually how I remember. There was a show where a guy, he's a cop, and he has a robot for a partner.
Sure.
Robot's a black guy.
Right. Yeah.
Forget the name. But one of the episodes was the people...
Something human.
Almost human?
Almost human.
Yeah.
Yep.
And one of the episodes of them solving this mystery was this woman was at it was like a vitamin or food depot, and it was like people lining up to almost like an ATM, and they typed in something, and out popped a couple pills, and that was what needed to sustain them.
Yeah.
For that day, I can't remember exactly.
It's
what
like
it was
a food
about.
bank. It's like a food bank, but you were getting everything you need from pills.
Right. Yeah, so it was like keeping people alive because obviously they couldn't afford anything else.
Yeah.
So, and I was like going, oh, that's what I could see things getting to. I can see things getting to the point where it's like, give them the easiest, cheapest thing to survive on, and everybody else will kind of take care of themselves, you know? But you know what's weird is it's the opposite that we teach our kids. We teach our kids about caring for people and getting along and, you know, finding common ground. We do all these things to develop these compassionate, loving human beings to enter the world. And then it's like, nah, you have the haves and have-nots, man. Those are the takers, buddy. Those are the takers. And so, I mean, at some point there's a divide.
You're talking about, I'm not saying that the low-income families don't teach that. I'm sure that they do. I can't speak on it because I'm not lower class.
Okay.
I don't have a low-paying job. I am a part of the middle class.
Right.
So I can only say, yeah, I think for the most part, middle-class families in America try to raise their kids in this fashion. I think that our school systems are geared towards that type of thinking. I have no idea about the upper class.
You mean how they teach people?
I have no idea about Ivy League colleges. It's all about competition, and it's all about
elitism.
That and profit. Like what can I do to get the best profit? And economics, profit. When your whole life revolves around how can I create the most profit? How can I streamline this process? How can I multitask? How can I cut away all the fat? All the things that I just said have all come out of motivational speakers. You know, if you listen to any motivational speaker, they come out with this slogan or something like, "How can I trim the fat? How can I make this more streamlined?" You know, and
it's all about profit, right?
It's all about profit, but it's also all about people. When you put people into a process, there's going to be some gray area. It's not all profitable. There's going to be loss. There's going to be accidents. There's going to be human error. Mm-hmm. So when you completely adopt the idea of streamlining a process, what you're truly saying is, how can I remove the human aspect from this process as much as I can?
To make as much money as possible.
Because that is the most important thing. When I think of Ivy League colleges, when I think of the upper 1%, when I think of what people are passing on to their children, I associate that type of thinking with upper 1% of the population. I think of how you described raising your child and me raising my children as more of middle class. I shouldn't even talk about upper 1% because I'm not an upper 1%er, but that's how I fall into looking at that group of people.
Right. And I guess that falls back to hear people saying, like, how many yachts do you need? How many houses?
How dare you tell me how much money I can make?
Right.
Why do you have
no, and I guess that what I fall into is if you want those things, good for you. It's more of like, but if I'm going to be, wouldn't you feel better as a person? Or, and this is putting my feelings on somebody else for sure. If I'm making $1 million a year. And my company's doing just fine. I'm making $1 million a year. And every year it'll probably be a little bit more because it's more popular and every year it grows a little bit. And so I keep people on. Now if I want to find a process to have a better quality of something, so maybe I make a widget that, is like the best of the best. So I change this one thing and it makes mine the elite widget of everybody else's, but I lose a handful of jobs because of that. That I can kind of balance it out because I'm making a much better product that people want in lieu of these jobs. But if I'm saying, how can I make this thing the cheapest absolute possible? And how can I remove all these salaries and all this healthcare so that my $1 million a year goes to $2 million? To me is a really selfish, horrible way of thinking about things. And I guess maybe it's not very capitalistic way of thinking. I'm all about making money. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you and I got to the point where this podcast actually made money, or you and your partner made money with your production company, right? Maybe you would want to eliminate, maybe you'd take on a job, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go, oh, you know what? Hey, there's this great fucking computer program that came out. And so my partner and I are going to buy this $500 one-time fee for this computer program, and we can fire this guy we've been paying $30,000 a year for. Mm-hmm. You could do that.
Yeah, you can figure out a way to justify any of those decisions.
That's what I'm saying. So, I would hope that you and your partner would say, like, listen, this production company is not about making a shitload of money. My wife's happy. I'm happy. My kids are happy. We have clothes. we can afford to live here. I didn't take a pay cut to take this job and quit my other job. Whatever it is you guys did. Right. And this person can keep their job still. But you know what? That's 15. You and your partner can split 30 grand. Oh, that's a new car. Or that's, a good chunk of the payment on your house. And I guess you could rationalize that pretty easy. At the same time, you gave somebody a job that they probably love to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you feel like we don't ask ourselves more philosophical questions, and that all of the questions that we ask ourselves are so on the surface, so what's it called when shallow? Yeah, perfect. Do you feel like we just inundate ourselves with such shallow questions that we don't give ourselves the opportunity to really truly think deeply?
Absolutely. Think about Native American, those comments or the quotes you hear. Are you making choices for tomorrow, or are you making choices for your children's?
What's this? I have no idea what you're talking
I'm totally paraphrasing. Okay,
from what?
It was a Native American saying, are the choices you're making now, are you just thinking about yourself for tomorrow? Or are you thinking, are the decisions I'm making now, how are they going to affect my children's children's children? So are you making choices now? And so if you did that, it'd be like, okay, I'm going to go buy some eggs. Am I going to buy the 99-cent eggs? That are from a corporation where the chickens don't move at all. They're fucking horrible. They're fed horrible shit, but it's the cheapest goddamn egg I can get. Or am I going to spend a little bit more money and I know the chicken had a good life, it didn't pollute the environment, everything's recyclable, blah, 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 blah. So I'm making a better choice even though I might be spending more money now. Or am I not buying any fucking eggs at all unless they're eggs that I produce myself because they're in my backyard and they're plucking around my grass and my weeds and getting good omnivore meals and stuff like that. That's the idea behind it.
Right. Well, I think that we don't ask ourselves deeper questions, and it's a detriment to all of us. Now, have you, just changing the subject a little bit, have you watched the YouTube video of Sam Harris and the Young Turks?
I haven't. Is it good?
It's really good. It's 3 hours long.
If you're listening to this podcast, that's nothing to you.
Yeah, it's nothing to you. You're used to it, right?
You're used to it. Shit. Bring on 3 hours.
But what this interview does that is so rare. One, it starts out with Sam Harris being easily visually fucking pissed.
Really?
Yeah, at the Young Turks. Okay?
Okay.
I think his name is Cenk. Is that his name? First name? Cenk Uygur.
I don't know, buddy. I'm sorry.
Anyway, he's the main guy from TYT. And Sam Harris, this is just a photo of them having their debate. You can look it up on YouTube. It's free. and I would encourage you to do so, because not every question is as easily answered as you may think it is. And you really need to do some deep thinking about things that we so easily go, oh yeah, sure. Nope. You need to really get into it. And this is what they do. And what they're doing is they're addressing what Sam Harris has said recently about being labeled Islamophobe, and his comments on Real Time with Bill Maher when I'm trying to think of the actor who freaked out. Ben Affleck. When Ben Affleck freaked out.
Sure.
Well, I shouldn't say freaked out. He visibly was.
Well, he was pissed.
Really upset and pissed.
Oh, he's fucking pissed.
So the host of TYT was interviewing Sam Harris, and he wanted to clarify, what exactly did you mean by the nuclear option that you had commented about? What exactly do you mean by your position on Islamic beliefs? What exactly? So, I mean, it's a 3-hour debate, and there's times. This is the refreshing thing. This is the thing that I enjoyed, and I got a lot out of, is the fact that
got a lot out of.
I'm sorry, I got a lot.
I'm kidding.
Out
That
of.
was funny. Okay.
Sorry about that. Was the fact that the interviewer was not afraid to say, I completely disagree with you. And this is why. It doesn't happen once. It doesn't happen twice. It happens throughout the
3
interviews
hours,
for 3 hours.
Oh, I'll watch it.
It is intense. You can tell that it's physically draining on both people. You can tell that they have not moved in 3 hours. Both are sweating. The interviewer...
Young Turks can't afford a fan or what?
I don't know. The Young Turks guy, Jank, I believe is his name, is red-faced and sweating. And he is visibly upset. Sam Harris, I thought, gave a wonderful example at the very beginning. He set the tone for the interview in this way. Now, the interviewer starts kind of like, this is how we're going to begin, right? And Sam Harris goes, wait. We have to set the context of this talk. We have to make sure that people understand the context of why I'm here and why we're having this conversation.
Fair enough.
People can't just walk into this not understanding why I'm here. And Jank says, yeah, I agree. So Sam Harris starts with, now, let me create a scenario for you. Let's say Salon, the magazine Salon, has written a piece that is completely inflammatory, has misquoted me, is slanderous to me personally and financially, and they have published that. I respond back to them and say, and bring all these things up to them, how they've misquoted me, and their response to me is, I'm really sorry, Mr. Harris. I'm not going to pull the story, but if you would like, you could write a rebuttal and we'll publish that. And Sam Harris then says, so let me understand this. I'm supposed to endorse the fact that you have slandered me. You've not done your due diligence. You have not vetted the people that are slandering me, and then you want me to work for free to take my time away from myself for free to then give to you so that you have content so that more people will get pulled to your website.
Sure.
So not only are you trying to destroy my name and who I am, but you want me to help you do it.
Right.
And that's why I'm here with the Young Turks. And it was a 1-2 punch right into the face of TYT.
Why? Because they had him there just to be outlandish?
Like the Salon example, they had recently had people on who had misquoted and had slandered this guy's name and
Sam Harris,
and had taken what he had said out of context, and they had not vetted him properly. Now, since those people had come in and slandered his name, they have said, oh, wait, by the way, we have found examples where this guy is not a reliable resource. But they won't pull the video.
Right.
They won't pull that stuff, but they gave Sam Harris, the opportunity to come in and clarify.
Isn't that kind of the same thing as Salon?
That's exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
He gave an example using different names and situations, but he was describing exactly to the T what had happened with the Young Turks. And he said, and this is why I'm here. I'm not getting paid. I'm bringing more of an audience to your show, and you have a responsibility. Are you going to be like the Salon? Are you going to be part of the media, which is like Salon, that's the death of reporting? Or are you going to be better?
Yeah. Interesting. And see, what I like about Sam Harris, and I guess, I like about Joe Rogan, and I like about Ron Paul, and I mean, some of these people is that I like the fact that I can gain things from them that I normally wouldn't, or I wouldn't allow myself to. Mm-hmm. Oh, Ron Paul leans this way. I'm not going to fucking listen to him, Mm-hmm. Or I really like Sam Harris a lot. I completely disagree with his Islamic points of view and his nuclear option. But a lot of the things he talks about, man, almost 80%, I'm on board with.
But I like the idea. Are you agreeing or disagreeing with those things that he said because your decision making is so dulled? It's not like a sharp knife in the kitchen. It's your ability to make a decision on things is so dull.
Because why?
Because we're so used to making quick reaction decisions on things that are not important.
No, I mean that's saying that I can't be. That's saying I can't be sit back and be thoughtful about something.
Right. But when Sam Harris breaks these things down, he goes, "When I talk about a nuclear option,
mm-hmm.
you have to understand it in the context to which I'm speaking about it. I'm not saying that this should be an option. I'm saying that if you are fighting an enemy, if you are fighting a group of people who, in their mind, it's a good thing if they die in the name of whatever they're doing. When you find people that are so fanatical that they find it to be a good thing to die in the name of it, the idea of a nuclear option and wiping those people out has to be considered. It has to be, because there's no negotiation. You're right. He's saying when you're in that position.
Sure. And I can agree with that. If the blowback of just a nuclear bomb affecting all this radiation-wise, I mean, he
wasn't talking about anything else. He was just talking about a single threat.
Right.
That is so fanatical. There's no talking him out of it.
If you nuke them, sure. I mean, part of me understands the philosophy behind that.
Yeah.
But then the idea of
the main idea, following through and doing it all blowback.
I think the blowback is literally that's the biggest. That's to me why you would not want to have a nuclear option besides killing millions of people, is that it will eventually affect you or your kids or your kids' kids. Well, they're going to have two heads or three arms or whatever because of the radiation, right?
We've only gone down one level into the depth of considering this yes or no.
Right.
Another level was him saying, all right, so let's consider the fact that if we would not have dropped the bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, that there would have been thousands and thousands of more people dead than what it was. Not everybody was annihilated by those bombs.
Right.
But it was so horrifying that they quit. Everybody stopped. And it was the end of the war.
And we haven't had anything since then.
So in a way, when you consider this, it's a lot like his stance on torture. When he says, yes, sometimes you can't remove that option off the table if you know that it's like collateral damage. It's like people going, okay, we're at war with Afghanistan and Iraq. Well, what does that mean exactly? It means that there's going to be collateral damage. And what collateral damage is saying that I'm okay with the war. The war is happening. I'm not stopping the war. So that means I'm okay with the fact with collateral damage.
Right.
And collateral damage is women and children and innocent men being killed. And when they're killed, it's not like, boom, one bullet, you're dead. It's sometimes horrific, terrible things.
Right.
And he gave the example of, we firebombed
Tokyo.
we firebombed people. People burned alive. So is that any worse? Thousands of people burning alive. Is that worse than torturing one person? If I can get the information out of somebody,
Right.
if I've
I don't know if
captured,
that's a good excuse. I don't know if that's a good comparison because torturing they show doesn't work.
no, he
addresses that?
he addresses that, and he says, if we've captured somebody who has a laptop and we've cracked it and we've gotten certain information from that laptop, and we go to question this individual, are you truly telling me that you would not go the next step further if it meant preventing thousands of people being firebombed?
Well, I don't think it was necessarily the idea that if it wouldn't keep that from happening. I think it's the idea that there's other ways of going about finding information that actually is more fruitful than torture.
Well, in this interview, he's talking about that is a huge misconception. It is thrown out there by the media
that what?
that's a misconception, that there's better ways, or that everyone lies when they're when they're being tortured. He's like, listen, when we actually have some proof of what's going on with a laptop that we've gotten with the person, and we can ask them questions about things we know from the laptop.
Right.
We already know these questions. We already know the answers to these questions. And we ask him and he's evasive. Then yes, we start making him uncomfortable.
Right.
But once we kind of get to the point to where we know that he is giving us the same information that's on the laptop, and we can continue further, we know that what he's given us is truthful.
Right. And so, I mean, it really is all around context then, because
it is all around
if we just go through Iraq and we just corral people, and or we say, hey, here's 10 grand, this guy over here, he's actually a farmer, but I want his land, and so I'm going to turn him in as a terrorist, and so then you torture the fuck out of him, and he really doesn't know anything at all. So I mean, it really is about context.
And he's not saying, Sam Harris isn't saying that never happens.
Right.
He's saying that, and he's not even promoting it. All he's saying is you have to look at these issues deeper.
Right.
And you have to say, what is the lesser of two evils? Am I willing to have Americans firebombed, or am I willing to, as an American, firebomb a city that I'm at war with, or a country that I'm at war with? Am I willing to do that? Isn't that more barbarous? Isn't that more horrendous than torturing one person? Which would you rather?
Right.
And if we're okay with collateral damage, shouldn't we be okay with
torture?
Shouldn't we be okay with using whatever means we can against a select handful of people?
Right. And you said that before, too, in the idea that you cannot be okay with war if you're not okay with collateral damage. You said that for years to me.
Right.
Right?
Well, I think
it's just the way it goes.
Think people easily overlook that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you're supporting the troops and supporting the war, you're supporting collateral damage. It's part of war, period. You can't have one without the other.
It's an ugly, ugly thing.
And that's why I think that it shouldn't. That's why I think an anti-war stance is probably the best stance, because that's saying that you don't want anybody killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, especially when you say now they're saying, what is it, 1 million people died, 1 million Iraqis died in the war. We lost thousands of people in the war, or 1 million Iraqis died.
They're now saying that there's more soldier suicides than there have been casualties in the war.
They're not saying it. It's a factual
No, I'm
thing
just
now.
saying. I just heard that the other day, that there's more suicides after they come home than there have been in the war itself.
Hey, there's a podcast trying right now for John Lee Dumas, if you want to hop on in. Just kidding.
What?
I just got notification that he has another podcast being starting right now. Who we love, by the way. John Lee is kind of become a little bit of a hero to us.
You know, anytime you can find somebody that's in your niche and has been successful or is successful.
And for me, it's fun to listen to hear him talk about things and be excited about stuff and promote stuff. He's not a downer at all, man. He gets you pumped up.
Well, it makes you think deeper into a subject, which was what we were talking about with Sam Harris. Is that
for sure.
I don't want to go down a negative road and talk about war and death and all that stuff. It's an example of, you really have to think about topics in a deeper philosophical way, and if you can't do that, you need to try harder, because things are nothing is ever as easy as a flippant yes or a no.
Right. Well, and I think the context is a huge thing. And I don't want to, that's why I think it's easier to say, I'm just anti-war, because I know that collateral damage is something that comes along with it. So I'm not willing to sacrifice one innocent life for a war.
But see, then Sam Harris might come back. I hate to put words in his mouth, but he might come back and say, okay, so you're saying you're not for war, but sometimes if you don't go to war, that means somebody's going to place war upon you and your loved ones. So are you saying that if we don't go to war, you're okay with your loved ones being killed? I mean, it's much deeper. You have to start saying, if I don't do this, these could be the ramifications. And if that's the ramifications, is that deadlier? Well, is it more horrific than if I were to go in and then I can go in first strike?
But I could go in deeper and say, if somebody is really prepping for war with me, I can prep for war for them. I don't have to necessarily go in and do a first strike. I can say, okay, if you're willing to go to war with me, if you're gonna throw the first stone, you better be fucking ready.
But you know what that means, right?
What's that mean?
It means that you're supporting everything that our military industrial complex is doing. If other companies
they're perpetuating war to keep funding it, right? No,
I'm just saying that let's look at the most optimistic view of our military industrial complex. There's other countries that are gearing up their armies, right? They want to be able to protect their lands, okay? We can easily look at that as they're gearing up for war, because we go into other countries for minerals and for other things. We're not an isolationist. We should be. Right. It would solve so many things problems, if we were more of an isolationist type of a country. Sure. But because we have our hands in all these other countries, if those countries start gearing up militarily, then what you're talking about, you would support our government gearing up more and more and more military, more weapons, more tanks, more equipments of war.
Yeah, in a perfect world, yeah, you would hope that you wouldn't have to do all that kind of stuff. But again, we have put ourselves into a position where we have to do that. When Roosevelt first started, he painted all of our warships, the 5 or 6 of them, white, and sailed around the world and went into ports and said, "Fucking check it out. You don't want to mess with us." And that was the beginning of that non-isolationism that made
a pissing contest.
Well, there wasn't even a pissing contest. It was like you walking around. It's like you walking around a classroom with a big fucking baseball bat, going, "Okay, just so you guys know, 3 times, bless you." It'd be you walking around with a baseball bat in a kindergarten class, walking around going, "Yep, don't even look my direction. You know what could happen to you." And that's what it would be like.
Give me your lunch money.
No, not even. No, it wasn't even that at the point. At that point, maybe it was.
Maybe it was at that point.
Were they going and doing?
Hey, by the way, I'm just showing you how badass I am.
It is. It was
so that you don't even think about disagreeing with me.
Right. And so there are people in the world that go, they sit there and look at you and don't say a word, but inside they're going, "Fuck you, dude. You just fucking wait. I will slowly, without you even knowing about it, get my shit together." I mean, even if it's goofy and it would never happen, they can never get an army big enough or a military big enough. You're still going to piss them off. And so what do? Eventually I can't do anything. So we'll just send our people and just blow them up. We'll just blow ourselves up and just fucking pick away at you. You know what I mean? And so, I think we set ourselves up for some of these situations. I don't think we need to take the blame for a lot of those things necessarily, but we did put ourselves out in the world as we're the fucking bigots and badasses. If we were putting ourselves out into the world from the very beginning of, hey, we are caretakers. You have a problem, something happens, let us know. We will be there to help you.
It's so difficult to help anybody anymore.
Yeah. Well, but the hard part is that we were in greed. We wanted all the natural resources, like you said, of people. That's why colonization happened, period, was greed and wealth.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but
you're wrong.
Just kidding. Was it Gaddafi? What was the guy recently, within the last couple of years, who had the female
Gaddafi, you're right.
Was it Gaddafi? Okay. Now,
Female bodyguards.
the female bodyguards, yeah. That's how I completely separate him from any other dictator.
It's funny.
But let's take an example like that. All right. Here's a guy who it's being reported that he's killing civilians. Okay. Now the media is saying America needs to go in and help the resistance.
Right.
Well, if the resistance, and this is where it gets cloudy. This is where it sounds like it would be straightforward. Let's help the people who are being killed.
Right.
Right. Let's at least help them so that or protect them so they're not being killed. So we start sending money and guns and soldiers, right? In different.
Just like we did the Mujahideen in Afghanistan before they were Al Qaeda.
But then you
against
find
the Russians.
out that the people that are fighting against Gaddafi are the same people that we were going to war with in Afghanistan.
Right.
The same people that we had basically said we're going to war with, which is the Taliban.
Right.
So now we're funding the exact same group of people that we are at war with.
Well, dude, take it even.
That's how it becomes cloudy and
take it even one step further, and so we have ISIS now in Syria and Iraq, and so now we're giving help to Syria, who we just accused of and refused to help for gassing their own people. And now we're working together to take care of ISIS because ISIS is so bad. And now you have
the enemy of my enemy is my friend, my friend.
All the countries around that area who are not willing to help. Why we have to be in there? I mean, I am getting to the point where I am as isolationism as much an isolationist as Ron Paul is and Rand Paul. Fucking just suck it all back in.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying that nobody else is important.
No,
we're not saying that that innocent lives should be lost.
It seems like
all we're saying is, why are we involved?
And at this point, all we've been doing is stretching out. Right? We're the opposite of isolationism, right? And that hasn't fucking worked very well. So let's take another tick.
Hey man, it worked for Rome. It worked for the Roman Empire.
Yeah. So let's pull it all back. And let's see how that works. If the world goes to fucking hell in a handbasket, we were incorrect. But at least we weren't out there, causing all these little fires and these little stir-ups. Let the Middle East sort itself out. If the Saudis and Qatar and all these gazillionaire money beyond money we could even imagine.
Oil barons.
Yeah. So, I mean, why? Let them
sheiks.
figure this shit out. Let them make their own fucking weapons. Let them do what they have to do to control the area. You know what I mean? It goes back to the greed and the wealth in America. They have friends with those people. It's never going to happen.
Well, not necessarily we have friends.
No, they're wealthy people who own large corporations in this company, have very good friends who are in foreign countries. But this is how the government,
this is how spokespeople sling that bullshit. They get on the news networks and they go, we realize that Osama bin Laden is dead, but we still have interests in that area.
Right. Yeah.
Well, what does that mean exactly? It means I know that what we said we were going after is taken care of, but I can't keep my big fat fucking nose out of somebody else's business.
Right. Well, I mean,
I want what they have.
It's like the bank that was laundering money for terrorist groups and drug company, not drug companies, but illegal drug organizations, and they have no accountability. Because they make so much money and there's so much part of that.
They were held accountable and they paid their fee. Todd, let them go, will ya? Let it die.
I'm just saying, when you have those kind of things happening, when things become so global, that's why I'm saying I don't think we could ever become an isolationist country again.
We should, but who knows if we could.
I don't think we could. I don't think it's feasible for us to. The major corporations that make up America are they have so many pieces of them that are global.
Intertwined.
There's no way we could become so if we become isolationists, does that mean GE has to stop all their worldwide companies because they're a global company and they own fucking everything, it seems like. And so they're not an American company anymore. If anything, they're a world company, right?
Yeah. Right.
So how do you pull them in with that isolationism? They make jet engines.
Yeah, I don't have all the answers.
God damn it!
But what I do
supposed to do right now is fill me in.
What I do have is let's look at what's not working.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it, and see if we can fix it.
Yeah, if we see what's not working, like our school systems, like our health care, Obamacare may be the right intentions, but is not. I don't think it's really truly helping the majority of people. The majority of people, listen, healthcare. At one point, you had a decision: do you want it or not? If you don't want it, then fuck it. You don't have to have it. But now you have to, or you're penalized. There is no option on whether you want it or not, whether you're healthy or not.
Right.
And I know we can't remember all this, but there was a time in the world where we actually survived, I don't know, 1,000 or 2,000 years without health care. Yeah, people died. People didn't live to their 300 years old. But we as a human species survived without health care. And when you think about health care, try not to, just for a moment, put aside the Affordable Care Act and Barack Obama, and just set aside your hatred for those two things for just a moment. Think about the fact, why are we paying so much money?
For healthcare, period.
For healthcare, period.
Okay.
It is the cost of the care provided. Done. That's it. So, why are we being charged so much by hospitals? Why are we being overdiagnosed? Why are we being overtreated? Why are we being overbilled?
Well, and that's the hard part, is so you have things like the death panel, which actually was a part of Obamacare that would have saved a lot of money. That was turned into a political issue, so they cut it out. And maybe there are some things that
I'm saying don't even think about that.
Maybe there's some things that we could have cut out, like the cost that's involved for healthcare, that could have been addressed more clearly or gotten fine-tuned so we weren't paying so much money. But instead, we're talking about these political points so people have, a talking point for a while. And it actually is going to help save money and drop the costs that you're talking about. Yeah. Or being overdiagnosed.
Well, it could. But
could.
You have to go back to the root cause of some issues. Our insurance is so high because our cost of care is so high. So why is the cost of care so high? Here's a great example. Something I cannot wrap my brain around. And maybe you have the answer for me, Todd, because you're a smart motherfucker.
Let's see about that.
Why is it, and I won't name any names, okay, but why is it when I go to my chiropractor, if I have insurance, my bill is $90. If I don't have insurance and I have to pay cash, it's $35.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that that's possible, but I was just told that from the person, the receptionist, just told me, hey, by the way, in January 1st, when your healthcare changes, when your healthcare provider changes, your insurance changes, we're no longer in your, what's it called?
Fuck if I know.
We're no longer with your carrier, right?
So you can't get it covered by.
So you're not covered by us. So we only need. So that means that you're going to fall into this other category, and you're just going to have to pay us $35. What the fuck? I was paying a lot more than that with insurance.
Right.
So why would anybody under that mentality ever tell you that they have insurance? Wouldn't it be cheaper all the way around? It's not just the insurance company's fault. This is the point I'm getting at. It's not just the insurance company's fault. It's not just the hospitals and the CEOs of hospitals and the managers and these golden umbrella management type people that work at hospitals. It's not just their fault. It's also our fault. It's our peers' fault. When I go and get helped at a physical therapist right down the street from me, and those physical therapists live in the same town as I do, and they're middle-class people also, when they charge me $50 for an ice pack, you're fucking over your own peer. I can no longer look at the government as screwing me over. I can no longer look at
each other.
We are screwing each other over. Why would you ever charge somebody $50 for an ice pack? And I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because I'm not looking at the bill. Because as soon as I'm treated, they send the bill to the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to pay it. And then we can be mad at the insurance companies for raising our premiums and deductibles because they're paying for a service. They're paying $50 for frozen water that I can freeze my goddamn self in my freezer at home.
Or even if you were to say you want to have an actual ice pack, you can go to Target and buy a pack of 5 for $5 or $10, which is even cheaper.
Sure. But we're talking frozen water for $50. By the way, I didn't even receive an ice pack, but I was charged for it. So when you're getting bills, or when you're not getting bills, when you're not getting bills, and these healthcare providers are just shoving the bills down insurance companies' throats, you're getting charged, or they're getting charged for shit that you didn't even get. And so when we go to blame, when we go to get angry at somebody, we should be a little angry at hospitals for charging us so much. Why? We should understand that. We should also understand, why are we getting charged so much why are our premiums and our deductibles going up every single year? We should understand it, right?
Well, because it's you should understand it because it's capitalism. They have to keep making money, so they're going to keep on raising things. That's just the way.
No, they don't have to. It's just
if you're in a capitalist society,
I'm just saying,
you're going to raise more money.
It's like my neighbor.
Asshole.
Okay.
My shares in Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I know you're playing a part right now. You're not calling me an asshole.
Are going to go up because I want my shares to go up every year. I want my returns, my dividends to go up.
But that mentality,
I'm going to charge you more.
But that mentality is not even being thought of when my physical therapist charged me $50 for ice.
Why? You don't think so?
No, he was not thinking that about my shareholders. It's a small business.
He was thinking about making money.
He was, but he's taking advantage of his peers. And so what's
the difference between taking advantage of your peer and getting $50 off of them, or I want my stock shares to go up, and so I want to charge more every year?
There should be an intimacy. This is the problem with globalization.
Dude, this is what I go back to when I just said we're talking about our kids. We raise our kids to be a certain way.
Right.
So at what point do they stop? Do we stop raising compassionate, understanding human beings, and they turn into the physical therapist that charges too much money, or the corporate CEO who wants his dividends to go up every year? And
again, what I was trying to draw from Sam Harris is these issues are deeper than just a flippant yes or no.
Sure.
These things are deeper than just, the insurance companies are fucking us. The hospitals are just fucking us.
Right.
Hey, listen. The person right down the street who's charging you $50 for ice is fucking you. And they should look at themselves and honestly say, this is wrong.
Right.
And why aren't we saying that this is wrong? Why can't we say it to ourselves, this is wrong? I don't need to charge $50 for ice.
Well, you need to charge $50 for ice if you want a way of living to be consistent. So if I'm going to stop charging you $50 and I start charging all 100 of my patients $50, there's a lot of money out of my pocket right there because I couldn't do the math in my head so fast. To be honest, there's a lot of money right there that I don't have in my pocket anymore. And if everybody else is fucking doing it, then what's the difference? We're all nickel and diming each other.
Mine.
We're all nickel and diming each other. It's just the way it goes. The government's fucking me here. I mean, again, it is the mentality. Again, you and I, even me, I think about the idea of like, well, it'd be hard for me to do that. You get me in enough positions where I'm like, oh fuck, the government's taking this from me, and then I'm losing this, and then if I don't charge them this, then I'm going to be screwed here. So I'll stick it to everybody because I don't want to not stick it to some people and stick it to others. So I mean, you can see how that can snowball so quickly into something else.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. We do have to take responsibility at some point, but it can be hard, I would think. That's just me, though. I think it's hard.
I think it's difficult, but I think all of this is a snowball effect. And if you don't understand where that first flake of snow came from,
right,
then you can't honestly think that you're going to correct a problem. And like Obamacare, when you try to fix a problem at the end of the line, at the end of the stream,
sure,
the problem is so much bigger. When that snowball has become a huge glacier
avalanche,
it's so impossible to try to deal with.
Try to guide the avalanche down the hill.
But if you go back to the beginning and deal with the snowflake,
right,
it's so much more manageable.
For sure. Hey, I sent you a picture in your email.
I hope not. Is it of you naked?
Oh, nobody wants to see that.
Wait a second.
Nobody wants to see this. Okay, nobody wants to see this.
Everybody wants to see that.
No, my wife even turns out the light. I sent you a picture of a guy's garage. His Twitter.
Did you segue at all, or are we going right into a completely different
jumping? Yeah,
okay.
we've been on that negative tip for a while.
That's true.
I sent you an email of.
I'm just saying you need to do a better job at segueing.
Oh, sorry. Segue global warming. No, I'm just kidding. I sent you an email because this guy has a picture of his garage. It's in Buffalo, who got 70 inches of snow in one day.
Okay.
And people just hold up like you do in a snowstorm. You hold up and you watch TV and you chill and drink hot chocolate and snuggle.
Oh my God.
Snuggle on the couch. 70 inches of snow, right? In one day. And that's his garage door. And I thought that was the best picture. People had to tunnel out of their front door to their house.
Well, it's a good thing he's got a snowblower.
Inside. Well, look at that. You can't even snowblow that.
Right.
You can't snowblow it. You know what I mean?
Buffalo, New York.
He would have been better to back in a truck with a plow on it. And even then, he might have some issues. That's a lot of snow.
That's crazy.
And you know what it was? It wasn't just snow. I mean, it wasn't just like a snowstorm came in.
No?
It was all the lake effect off Lake Erie. So the polar winds came down.
Polar vortex.
And they say there was a divide. You can see pictures of a divide where the wind would roll off the lake and just dump fuckloads of snow, and then then it would dissipate. And so there's parts of Buffalo that are just fine, normal plowed streets, and there's other parts that are fucking buried because of the snow, the lake effect.
Yeah, which is the opposite of like a snow fence.
Yeah.
Like if you were to put a snow fence up, for those of you who actually get snow, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that live in the part of the world that have never seen snow, a snow fence is something that when the snow is being driven down, the wind and the snow hit the snow fence and it kind of dies down the wind, and then the snow accumulates just past the snow fence, right?
It drops.
It drops, and it kind of dies and piles up there. Whereas with the Lake Erie effect, it accumulated a shit ton of snow and then it died off.
Right.
I can't imagine opening my garage door and there being a wall of snow.
Dude, it busted. It piled up and busted in windows and houses. That's how much snow there was.
Crazy.
I mean, it's crazy. But I told you before that I did the Men's Health Urbanathon in Chicago.
Sure.
Years ago. And I was standing there waiting for it to get started. And they said, be aware of lake effect. The news and the TV was saying beware of lake effect, so wear warm clothes, wear layers so you can strip things off. And I was like, okay. And so I had all that stuff ready to go. So in lieu, up into leaving to go on the run, right? We're all in our corrals.
Sure.
Before that, it snowed, it rained, it sleeted, it got sunny and was like warm, so I had to take layers off. Then the sun went behind clouds again, and it rained again. And when we took off running, it started sleeting. And so for the hour up to when the race took off and they did the gun, right? I had put on layers, taken off layers, put layers back on, and then I started running, and then the sun came out again. I had to fucking strip things off again. And that's all off of Lake Michigan. Yeah, I've never, ever heard of lake effect until the last 5 or 6 years when I've been in Chicago more often. And you're right. It is bonkers. And some of the pictures of Buffalo are fucking mind boggling. If you go to BuzzFeed.com and you type in Buffalo, New York pictures, yeah, that doesn't work for that computer.
You're right. I should put this back where I needed to be.
But some of them are just like, oh, that's a lot of snow. You know, or, oh, look, they had to tunnel out of their house. But there are some where you're just like, it looks like it's out of a movie. The amount of snow sitting on top of houses is just crazy. Let me see if I can find it. The most terrifying.
You want me to go to BuzzFeed?
Go to BuzzFeed and then type in the most terrifying pictures of the snow in Buffalo.
You want me to type all that in?
I don't think you have to, but if you want to, you can.
I'm looking for I'm on BuzzFeed.
Good. That's good.
Now what?
Just type in.
Where do I type it in?
There should be a little a little
Yeah. Okay.
Sherlock Holmes thing. What do they call that?
Buffalo.
Type in 24 pictures. Yep, and then click it and see what happens. Nope.
I put 24 pictures.
The title is 24 pictures that perfectly capture how insane the snow is near Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
That's too fucking long. So just type in snow in Buffalo or something.
I got it.
Fuck.
Here we go.
There you go. Look at that cutoff.
Wow. Let's try to bring this up a little bit.
That's sick. God, that's craziness.
And for all you people...
Yesterday. Damn, I forgot to put the top on the Jeep, honey.
That's not the same angle of picture.
I know, but that's the front of the car.
Right.
Look at that. That would suck.
I can't believe they were even able to open the door.
They shouldn't have. I can't see the backyard.
That's scary. Right there. You go to open the front door.
That's not even that bad. Keep going. Emergency door. There's the
garage door.
Garage door. That's the scary one.
Holy Hannah. How do you tunnel out of that?
Look at that.
That doesn't surprise me that much.
Well, and scroll down. That one was the one that was on the internet.
This one's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, which doesn't even matter because this is what some highways look like. Wow. And for everybody who's just listening to this, I apologize. We're looking at pictures on the internet, and it's absolutely amazing what Mother Nature can do to you.
Look at that.
Oh, snow busted in through the side door, just completely tore out some French doors because of the snow accumulation.
Broken windows.
Nuts. All right.
No, right here. Look at that. Go back. Look at that.
Wow.
It's like the snow apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, all right. So we talked about, in this podcast, we talked about the greatness
what didn't we talk about in this podcast?
Well, we didn't talk about the probe that landed on the meteor.
Oh,
and I know you really wanted to talk about that.
I do want to talk about it. Before we do that, though, you talked about education and issues with things in the government. There is a internet series called 2 Million Minutes in the 21st Century, and it's by a guy named Robert A. Compton. And he has this website has, it's not just the movie 2,000 minutes or 2 million minutes, excuse me, which is the amount of time kids spend in school from kindergarten until their senior year in high school is 2 million minutes. And he has a video. His newest video is called the Finland Phenomenon, and it's how Finland.
Robert A. Compton.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and if you
this is the website right here.
Yeah, and click on the Finland Phenomenon, and you can
right
watch.
Here?
Nope, very bottom one. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Click on that, and then there's a trailer there. Let's watch that. It's only a minute.
Okay, here we go.
Expand that bitch. Expand. Quick.
Makes me want to move to Finland. Is that all right if I if I do that, if I move to Finland.
Yeah. The first movie he did was called the 2 Million Minutes movie. Okay. He followed a child in India, a child in China, and then a high-achieving American kid. Actually, two, a boy and a girl, American kid. And it just showed the level of focus, I think, was more. I haven't seen it for a really long time, but it showed this little Chinese boy doing homework on his laptop like at 11:30 at night. And all he had done that night is fucking homework, right? And he already knew he was going to be a scientist or something, right? Yeah. Then the next one was the little Indian boy. Again, middle class, for lack of a better word, for both those countries, right? And again, he in elementary school, going to middle school, knew he was going to be an engineer and was actively working towards that goal as he was entering middle school.
Right.
Learning math for that, learning civics for that, learning all those things. And then you had an American kid who were very high achieving. They're like, the valedictorian of their class kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Definitely going to college, sure. No questions asked. And it showed them, kind of like all the girls watching Grey's Anatomy in their PJs on a study, doing a study night before their exam the next day kind of thing. Yeah. It just showed the difference of focus, and I don't think it was trying to bash one or the other necessarily at all. It was just saying that the cultural differences are pretty drastic.
Right.
And if you look at that, there are places that have, I think Great Britain has recess, or what we would call recess or a break, all the way through 12th grade, that people need a break from learning.
Yeah.
You have to have, if you think about you and I think Rock said that when he was in
after 5 minutes?
Yeah, he said that it's 15 minutes of focus, but he said in the Army, they would do something for 10, 15 minutes and take as long a break and then do nothing for 10, 15 minutes.
I thought it was even less attention span. I thought it was like a really surprisingly small amount of attention span, and then you need a break. And then come back.
So, so the idea of, dude, we're cutting art and music and PE from schools. So all they're doing is fucking math and reading and writing. Can you, even as an adult who's got shit under his belt school-wise, could you imagine being in school all fucking day long and you don't get a chance to get a break from it?
Here's a good question that I think everyone who listens to this should ask themselves. I had asked my wife this, and it really quickly helps you understand truly where are you at as a human being. Okay?
Okay.
Because if you were to say, hey, so Todd, would you die for your kid?
Sure.
Sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you do anything at all to make sure that your child, when they grow up, has the best learning experience possible?
Sure.
Then why aren't you in Finland?
Right.
No, I asked my wife that.
That's a good point.
And this was when we only had one child, and she's a nurse, and we could pretty much go wherever we wanted to. And if we wanted to go overseas and her, do whatever she needs to do to be reclassified to work as a nurse in Finland, she could have easily. I would have to figure out something else. I would be the retard in Finland.
Right.
I would be the guy who cannot speak 5 languages. I would be the guy who's like, so you want me to nail some boards together? I would be that guy. I'd be whatever I could do.
Right.
But so when I said, if we can do whatever, if we wanted to give our child the best chance at a successful life, the most fulfilling life,
right,
the best education, why aren't we getting on a plane right now and going to Finland?
Right. What'd she say?
She goes, I'm not leaving my family. I said, okay. So then, not to be a jerk, not to fight with you, but at that point, you have to understand that when somebody asks you, would you die for your child? You probably should say, nah, not really.
Because if you're not willing to fly somewhere,
if you're not willing to move somewhere so that your child has the best developmental years of their life, then you're probably not willing to do other things for your kid. And I'm not trying to make you out to be a really shitty human being,
right?
But I really want people to put that into perspective and think to themselves, you got a point. If I'm not willing to do this for my kid, then I'm probably not willing to do other things for my kid. I'm not a hero. Like I like to say, right. The whole 9/11 people.
Or you could even go as far as saying, if you really want the best for your kid, would homeschooling be better?
Well, then people say, well, I want to make sure that they have social skills and maybe homeschool. I think homeschooling has this image of terrible social skills. And maybe that's right back in the day. But now there's so many extra programs.
But look at your neighborhood. So say your kids are here with you all day in this house.
Yeah.
But then come 3:30 or come all summer long, they're with their buddies in the neighborhood running around doing what the hell they want. So what's not social about that? So they might not have social connections when it comes to being in a school classroom with their peers.
Then it comes down
when they
to
really should be learning anyways, not socializing.
Yeah. Well, but then it comes down to the reality of I could not handle my kids being home with me every day, 24 hours a day. And I mean, it's laughable. It's laughable.
They're
you laugh
babysitters.
about it.
They're babysitters. Your teachers are babysitters.
Teachers are babysitters. And we are okay with giving our kids substandard learning. And that's honestly the reality of the decisions that we make here in the United States, which this absolutely amazes me. Why can't we honestly look at what somebody else is doing and say, they're number one. Finland, however they're doing their thing, is number one. What are they doing? And how can I just completely copy what they're doing?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we be doing that?
Just revamp the whole fucking thing.
If some other country has an amazing healthcare system, why wouldn't we just
we're fucking America.
Why don't we just copy and paste and put that in America? Right. Why don't we do that?
Because we're independent.
It's ridiculous.
We're America. We do our own thing. Make our own mistakes.
This is the one thing that completely solidifies what being an American means to me. Right here. Are we going to teach our kids the metric system, or are we going to stay with the standardized unit of measure?
Nobody else in the world.
Nobody else uses it but us. Fuck you, metric system. I'm American. I'm going by the foot. Fuck you, meter. That is, to me, is the epitome of our egos and why we will never be, honestly, truly number one. Because something as simple as that, if we can't get past that, hey, we're
not going to conform. Oh my God,
what is the best unit of measure, and what should we truly be going by? Oh, what's the rest of the world going by? Kilometers, meters, metric system. No. Let's go by something like yards.
Dude, we're still arguing about making English the national language of the United States and making the federal law that you have to speak English here. I mean, we're so wrapped up in the stupid little mundane things. Not even how great we are. Of like we're still, and as a very proud American, we're still wrapping ourselves in the flag in so many areas that we're pulling it over our heads.
We're pulling it over our eyes and we blinding ourselves
and we
to
can't
the truth.
See to something that maybe is a better idea. It's okay to. I mean, if you as a person. If you saw a buddy going, oh, hey, you know what? I changed this one thing and I started doing this wonderful thing started happening on the back end. Would you be like, well, fuck, I'm fucking Matt. I'm not fucking changing for anybody. I don't care how great it is. I'm fucking Matt and I'm not changing it. I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? Because if you said to me, hey, dude, I found this thing. You got to change it. It'll change your life. And I do it. And I go, fuck, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Well, hey, now we're together. You know what? You and I are socialists. So, you know what? Now we're labeled something different. And, I mean, you can just go down a fucking weird, nasty path.
That's true.
In no time.
That's
true.
I mean,
you're absolutely right. Why not take something that works and apply it? We do it for everything else. I remember there's a great movie called, it went right out of my head. It had Billy Crystal. It had the tap dancer. I forget his name. Fuck.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about Don't Fuck with Mr. Zero?
No, I'm not. I'm not talking about Don't Fuck with Mr. Zero.
City Slickers?
Not City Slickers. No, thank you for you're throwing them out there, and I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I will find it because it's in the late 80s, early 90s.
We can't be fucking around with this all day.
You're right. I'll get it. I'll get it fast.
We're not even going to talk about your
Running
comment.
Scared.
Running Scared.
Okay, Running Scared with him and
Bennett.
Bennett. The fuck's Bennett?
The tap dancer.
His name's not Gregory Hines.
Oh.
Yeah, Bennett. He and Gregory Hines is just standing there. He's like, what's wrong with kids these days? He's like, it's the new math. He's talking about the metric system because I remember that talking about it in the 80s. That was the big political thing. We're not going to go to the metric system, you know? And so they make you kind of take a little.
You American cowboys, you're so crazy.
So what was my comment earlier that I talked about that I just totally avoided?
The
comment.
The comment. You really
comment.
wanted to get into the comment. Now listen, we don't have very much time left.
Okay, do you have something more important to talk about than the comment?
No, I don't.
No,
I don't. But if you want to talk about the comment real quick, we got about 10 minutes.
Okay. I can't get over this fucking comment.
Okay. Oh, hey, wait, before we get too far away from it,
Yeah.
If you want to check out the Finland phenomenon, go to www.2m and then minutes.com. So www.2mminutes.com. And you can watch the little video on the Finland phenomenon. Now, back to Todd.
So the Philain lander, right? It lands.
The Philain lander.
Yeah, it lands in this comet. It starts tweeting right away.
How do you spell the Philain lander? Philaen.
Sorry, Philae. And I just can't get past the fact that if we can do these kind of things, if we can land a spaceship on a moving asteroid, how can we not solve more problems here? It's like, what's restraining us from solving other issues? You know, they also found organic material on the surface.
So living things.
They found living things.
When you say organic, I think I don't think people make the connection.
They're microorganisms. They're alive.
I'm just saying I don't think people make the connection when you say organic. So the probe, this Philae, Philae, this lander was thrown out into space. And it landed on an asteroid.
Right.
A comet or an asteroid?
Comet 67P.
I'm sorry, a comet.
Yep.
And on that comet was living organisms.
Right.
Okay? So, right there, it answers the question. Is there life out there in outer space?
Right. And it had complex organic compounds like amino acids and some of the building blocks for life on it. And that's fucking legit, dude. I mean, that's awesome.
It is awesome. It's
do you think that goes against religion at all? I had people that I know that were saying,
I think
that
it
somehow
goes against what people want to believe about their religion.
Okay.
I think there's religion. I honestly think that something happened and we've corrupted the message of religion. So, was the earth created in 7 days?
Right.
Was Adam created out of nowhere and then they took one rib out of him and made a woman? Not necessarily.
Right.
But I could understand somehow a group of people way back in the day trying their hardest to make sense of how did they get to this point. Let me think back to when I couldn't speak or when my ancestors couldn't speak. You can't.
Right.
So when can I think of the most important person? And then stories develop, you know?
Yeah. Or stories develop into philosophies, develop into religions.
But as soon as you say, oh, well, a God divined this into my head. And
right.
This is the story that God divined and gave to me, and I was meant to because God told me to. As soon as you say that, then why are you not thought of as a lunatic like anybody else?
Right. Did you ever see South Park did a wait.
We're not done talking about this lander. We got to talk about the lander.
I will talk about the lander, but I just wanted to let you know that South Park did a thing on Mormons.
Yeah.
Like a spoof on Mormons.
Sure. And even though they're talking about very specific legitimate belief systems that the Mormons have, it brings to light the absolute insanity of the belief system. Now, I say that, but I also want to say the only person I've ever met that truly walked the walk and was a super legitimately awesome person was a Mormon.
Who was that?
Who I worked with. He was a supervisor. The way he described his belief system, the way he lived his life, the way he looked after older people in his congregation, the way their church, for lack of a better, if it's called a church.
Did he just live his life in a positive, loving, caring way, or did he need to have that religion to follow to be that person that he was?
A part of their belief system, part of the way he lived his life was each one of his kids went on a mission. Now, there's good parts and bad parts about that. Take them as you will. But this is what he gave his kid as a life lesson. His children left what they knew, which was here in Iowa. They went somewhere else, whether it was a third world country or just a different country, and got a different perspective on life.
Right.
That was one thing that was really awesome about him and the way he lived his life. The other thing was he looked after the elders in his congregation. He actually actively went out once a week and met with older people to see how they were doing, sat down and had conversations with them, hung out with them in their kitchen. His wife did the same thing with the ladies. Their children, everybody took a turn getting up and talking on the podium, basically giving a sermon. Okay. Everybody did. That was the normal thing. Everybody had to get up and talk in front of other people, right?
Okay.
I really felt, if you think of people that go door to door and get the fucking front door slammed in their face more than any other group of religious people, hey, have you heard the good news? Swam!
Right.
If there's a religious group that actually walks the walk more than any other that really come to mind right now, it's the Mormons. Do I believe in their message? Do I believe in their religion? No, I don't believe in Joseph Smith and the golden underwear or whatever. I don't believe in any of that shit. I don't believe that Jesus Christ came and visited him. I don't believe in any. I follow more along the lines of Sam Harris's belief system. I am completely agnostic, but it doesn't mean I'm not
open
to being spiritual, but I am not religious in any manner. So that part I think is ridiculous and silly, but the way they treat their community is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen as an adult.
Well, don't you think it's not just that one guy, it's the whole community?
The way he interacted with his community, the way that I saw him interact. I never was around his children or his wife or his other members of his congregation. I only saw how he interacted and the way that he spoke about how other people in his parish or whatever interacted. To me, I thought, that's legit.
Right.
If there's anybody who's walking the walk, he is. There's no Christian, there's no Catholic that I look at and go, oh yeah, you're totally walking your walk. No.
And Mormons are Christians, aren't they? Maybe not.
I don't know. They're Mormon.
They're Mormon, but it's based off of Christian. It's a Christian base.
It's based off of Joseph Smith finding something in the earth and having Jesus Christ visit him.
But Jesus Christ was the focus of what gave him the information. So it's still a Christian-based religion, right?
Christ is Jewish, so does that mean Joseph Smith is a Jew?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Anyway,
hey, I was going to tell you that before we get finished up, there was we can talk. We don't.
Are you going back to the Mars lander?
No, not
or not the Mars lander?
No.
Well, listen, really quickly.
Yes.
We briefly touched on this last podcast, but the thing is about this lander. I don't think people understand it. Like I thought about this, like the most recent Star Trek movie. I think it was the most recent Star Trek movie. It might have been the first one. When he's talking to Scotty about, hey, I need you to teleport me onto a spacecraft that is moving at light speed. In the future, you know how to do this, so you need to be able. He said it's like shooting a bullet he described it in a way that I thought, this is fucking impossible.
Right.
And that's what we did. We shot a bullet. This
we could
lander.
we could steer the bullet. Does that help?
I suppose a little bit, but we basically shot something out of a cannon
Right.
into outer space. It landed on a fucking comet and is now sitting something that we made, something that Americans made.
People.
Or people, human beings. There's something that we made that is now permanently affixed to that fucking comet that is going.
And it's fucking tweeting.
Well, it's dead now, right? The battery system died, which I think is totally suspect. Why would you put some? There's
60
satellites.
Hours. It's in like a deep sleep or something.
Okay, it may, if the batteries just died, I think that's silly because we've had satellites and things like that up in outer space on solar power.
And could they not? Yeah, could they not throw a solar panel on that shit?
I mean, there's things that we've shot out into outer space that is going past Mars and stuff that is sending satellite pictures back to us. But,
right.
So the data. This is such a monumental time in humanity, in recent humanity, that I think we're kind of overlooking the importance of what we've just done. We shot a fucking bullet out onto a moving object that's moving, millions of miles per hour through space.
I would assume.
We fucking landed it, and it's sending us pictures back through space. It's gonna go. It's gonna travel with this comet to places in our galaxy that we've never been.
And what I think is cool too is, people have been talking a lot about Interstellar and the sound, how loud it is at times and how quiet it is and the music involved.
Yeah.
And he did that absolutely on purpose so that it was overwhelming and it became a part of the movie. The soundtrack, whether it's just noise or music, became an emotional part of the movie. And I thought that was really interesting.
Well,
but then, of course,
don't you think all soundtracks do that? They create a certain emotional tempo.
You and I talked specifically about the idea. It was so fucking loud. They're blasting into space. All of a sudden, poof, it's fucking quiet because they're in space.
There's no sound.
There has to be. He wanted to make sure those were differences, and so they sent back sound from that comet. Do you want to hear it?
Sound?
Yeah, this is the sound that it makes.
Does it sound like this?
I don't know.
What?
Here you go.
What the fuck is making that sound? That's the thing. What is making that sound?
They call it the singing comet.
That's so odd.
That's more like the sound you would hear, like wind blowing. Because it's fucking traveling through space. Dude, but that's the thing.
That's super annoying. Stop that.
That's the sound of a comet traveling through space. Again, it goes back to the...
We never knew that.
We can hear that.
Yeah.
We can actually hear that. That's amazing to me.
I mean, that should be... It's kind of like when we first landed on the moon back in the day.
Yeah.
Everyone around the world was focused on that, and everybody celebrated man's magnificence.
Right, the ability to go outside
Look how jaded we are.
Sure.
Look how jaded we are. Are we all in awe? Are we all standing side by side, marveling at our magnificence?
Dude, I have a marveling thing in my hand right here.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's how jaded we are.
Yeah. What's a comment? You're absolutely right. What's a comment do for me that fucking I can watch YouTube on this? Are you kidding me?
Dude, did you hear that we just shot a fucking bullet into outer space and it landed on a moving rock moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour? Can you imagine we actually fucking did that? Yeah, my fucking iPhone's not working.
Hey, check your white privilege.
I gotta go. Yeah, check your white privilege. Hey, we're gonna try something new. This is our. We're gonna be signing off here, and I'm gonna see how well this works because I'm trying to do the job of 3 men.
You can do the job of 3 men.
Anyway, I really wanted to say to Todd, thank you, buddy, for all the things that you've done and all the people that you set up for this podcast. You're awesome.
Right back at you.
I did that too early. You want to know why?
Why?
Because, hey, we're brought to you by kathysculla.myitworks.com at myitworks.com. And if you want to go there, she's a sponsor of this show. If you want to help this show continue on, when you contact Kathy Sculler, you put an order in, tell her that, you heard it on the Primal Scream podcast. That'll really help us out. Also, if you go to YouTube and you want to check out our videos, go to the Primal Scream podcast. Okay, type that in, the Primal Scream podcast. You'll go to our YouTube page, and you can see all the different YouTube videos that we've put out there. There's the Count to 10, and then there's all the Primal Scream podcasts that we've videotaped and we've put out there, and I hope that you all enjoy it. Please leave your comments, your suggestions, anything that you want us to talk about in the future. I'm totally open to all that. And if you want to say, hey, honestly, Matt, you talk too much.
Shut the fuck up.
We love Todd's perspective, and you rip on him way too much. You can totally say that. I'm down with that. I'm totally open to all your comments that you want to throw our way.
Somebody please stick up for me.
Somebody please. Hey.
From Canada?
I thought that was O. Is it A or O?
Are you from Canada?
Are you having a good day?
I don't think that's
that was an Irish pirate from Montana. From Montana.
We're past the Irish pirate. Now they're in Montana.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So anyway, go to YouTube, check us out, leave comments, like us, and subscribe. That would really help us out a lot. I would really appreciate it. That's my call to action. That's what I'm telling you to do.
Do it.
So just do it. So thank you for It Works. Thank you for checking out the YouTube channel. I appreciate that.
Don't forget.
Also, Ecolips. Go to ecolips.com, order some Ecolips, create your own Ecolips, click on My Ecolips, and you can pick your ingredients, design your container, name your balm. That's pretty awesome. I think that's pretty cool. If you're a company, for sure do that. For sure do that. Hand it out because it's an awesome product. Also, check out Sweet Raw Joy. Go to sweetrawjoy.com. Get some of their delicious desserts. And if you want to satiate your sweet tooth and you want to feel good about it and not add a lot of calories and get fat.
Good for your tummy.
It's good for your tummy. It's live living ingredients. Go to sweetrawjoy.com. And if you want to have a great time with your friends and family, you want to laugh your asses off, and you want to, what ended my last relationship? Boogers. That's what they had on their screen.
Nice.
They just have different cards popping up. Go to cardsagainsthumanity.com. Download it for free or order it for $25. Right now, you give us $15, we'll send you 10 mystery gifts for the 10 days or whatever of Kwanzaa, it says. Slots are limited. So buy now for $15. That's 10 days or whatever of Kwanzaa. That's what it says.
Nice.
Yeah. So go to cardsagainsthumanity.com if you want to have a great, fun, amazing experience with your friends and family.
Oh, that's the best.
Todd?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about where people can find us?
Yeah, go to tpsbproductions.com. That's the easiest place to find us on the production company's website. When you're there, you can follow us on iTunes and Stitcher. While you're there, please subscribe to us, download our podcast, and do give a review. We want feedback, just like you did on Facebook and YouTube and all that other shit. Make sure you get on iTunes or Stitcher, and make sure you tell us what you think, good and bad. Just give us feedback, because we always want to change and always want to be better or address something that you want it to be talked about. So please do that for us. And again, YouTube is a great thing. Facebook, follow us, like us, enjoy us there. I haven't been on Pinterest for a while. I keep saying that on every podcast. I've been on there for a while, but I just been a little too busy to get on Pinterest and fucking pen pictures. But I will try to get better at that as I become a little bit more diligent in my duties.
Stay tuned for more stuff from Todd's blog.
Yes.
And hopefully in the near future, I'll be doing my... I haven't even come up with the title.
Crisis life coach.
I haven't even come up with the title yet.
Matt will be a midlife crisis life coach. Sounds beautiful to me.
Crisis life coach. Something like that.
I like that.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's it.
Is that all you want them to know about?
Yeah, but I like you a lot. I think you're special.
Oh, thanks, pal. I appreciate you too. Well, hey, by the way, I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. I'm Matt.
I am Todd.
And we'll see you later.
Adios.
Good night.